electric. Here we go. The phrase must win gets tossed around all too liberally, but for the Calgary Roughnecks, the label certainly applies tonight. Thanks to a 3-game skid, the Riggers find themselves on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs, a game and a half behind the Stealth. Their opponent tonight is in a postseason dogfight of their own. New England owns the final spot in the East with Buffalo nipping at their heels. It's the Black Wolves and Roughnecks tonight on NLLTV.com. My name is Grant Farhall with Ryan Ballantyne, set to bring you tonight's big game between the Black Wolves and the Roughnecks. But before that, a special ceremony as Tracy Koleski is going to be honored in the Forever a Roughneck program. And we are going to bring you that ceremony in its entirety. And in fact, we'll take you now down to the floor and the PA announcer for the Tracy Koleski Forever a Roughneck ceremony.
Program, which is a distinction and path that will be followed by future Calgary Roughnecks legends. To begin tonight's ceremony, we'd like you to direct your attention to the home bench. Please welcome to the turf your 2017 Calgary Roughnecks players and training staff. Alumnus and Forever Roughneck inductee, number 9, Caleb Toth. And finally, please welcome tonight's honoree, number 17, Tracy Koleski. Now, Roughneck fans, we ask that you please direct your attention to the energy board as we look back at the spectacular career of Tracy Koleski.
Tracy Kelusky was born September 9, 1975 in Peterborough, Ontario. Although a gifted multi-sport athlete throughout his adolescence, Tracy didn't start playing lacrosse until he was 14 years old. And without a chance encounter with John Grant Jr., lacrosse history may never have been made.
My dad and I were at Foot Locker buying some shoes, lacrosse shoes for the upcoming season, and Tracy just was there with his dad buying shoes for baseball. And my dad heckled Tracy's dad, Reg, and I obviously heckled Trace. We knew each other because our dads worked together, and he came out that summer. I think it was in Pee Wee, and it's pretty crazy that he, became a Hall of Famer starting that late in the game.
He came along slow. He joined the Peterborough Minor Lacrosse and played house league until he got to get his skills down, and of course the other kids, Junior and other guys, took him aside, fixed the stick, and picked up and helped him along the way.
He worked really hard, and then he became a great lacrosse player, and to be able to do that so late in life, and I know 14's not, by all means late, but it's a late start compared to everyone else that had already been playing for 10 years, and he was able to be the player he is truly amazing, and it just means he's just naturally gifted athlete.
Tracy quickly embraced the game and was fortunate to receive quality coaching and guidance through his teenage years.
John Grant Sr. was influential in teaching him the game, getting the stick in his hand and showing him the ropes along the way.
We always used to joke around, he was my dad's favorite son. Like when I was a prima donna or a diva or whatever, he just put his nose down and worked. Never, ever stopped. Didn't matter if he was first line, second line, third line, or not playing.
He's natural at whatever he does. He's a natural leader, and he just works hard at whatever he's not great at, he works hard at.
After playing college lacrosse for the University of Hartford, Tracy joined the Columbus Land Sharks and was named NLL Rookie of the Year in 2000-2001. The following season, he played for the expansion Montreal Express. After the Express folded, the Calgary Roughnecks made Tracy the first overall pick in the dispersal draft.
Through talking to all the GMs around the league and all that kind of stuff, this Tracy Kelusky kept popping into the conversation. Obviously, he was a up-and-coming superstar, so I remember making the phone call to him shortly after his playoff run was over, and he was very adamant that Calgary wasn't exactly on his list. He didn't want to think about it right now and things like that, so we had to kind of work on him a little bit. So we decided to fly him and his wife out, Emily.
And I remember the first thing that Tracy said to me was, besides, hi, I'm Tracy, was, I'm going to come here and I want to see. And I said, what? And he goes, I want to be the captain. And so, of course, me at the time didn't really think too much of it, but I said, of course, you can have it if that's what's going to take for you to get here. And, I didn't realize, because I'd never played with Tracy before, but just how much of a leader he was and how much that he needed that C, because that was Tracy.
It was pretty evident as soon as I got to Calgary who the general was on the floor, who was taking charge of the practices, making sure the guys were on the ball, keeping guys focused, just doing what Tracy does, lead.
Being able to come to the rink with a guy like that who was so passionate and loved the game of lacrosse was absolutely something that I took as one of the greatest things in my career, because he really brought the team up. He made everyone feel like, hey, this is where we want to be. We want to come to the rink. We want to be part of this team and family, and he was a great leader in that aspect.
Always a proponent of family on the floor and family off the floor, Tracy and his wife Emily are still famous for their Calgary Sunday night dinners.
I think that was part of our success over the years as a group in Calgary. We had a bunch of guys who weren't from Calgary, didn't have family in Calgary, so the Roughnecks became our family. And Tracy was really sort of the ringleader of that, sort of the goofy father figure.
We'd have Sunday Fun Day, which was kind of our slang that came out of it. And those are some of my fondest memories in Calgary. And Emily, his wife, included everyone. They made it feel like, hey, this isn't about lacrosse. This is about hanging out and being great people. And being the superstar, being the guy, you didn't have to do that. You'd come to the rink and people would respect you. But going that extra mile really made me feel at home.
He's somebody that you can talk to about pretty much anything. And that's, I think, where I gained a lot of personal respect for him and a great personal relationship.
They're both very giving kind of people. They care. They don't pretend to care, but they actually really care, and they work really hard to really just be good people. Just being around them, there was a lot of interaction with other players and their teammates and their wives. There was a real bond there between everybody, and I think if you were around Tracy, you knew that, like, in his neighborhood, everybody kind of knew him and sort of loved him the same way that I think the whole city did. He was just such a fun guy to be around.
Tracy would win 2 titles with the Roughnecks, one in 2004 and one in 2009. Both were special for very different reasons.
2004 was a great experience, the sold-out building, Tracy leading the charge. I remember sitting with Ken King at the time, as a matter of fact, and I don't think he'd experienced a whole bunch of games, and he said, we're down by 4, I think it's over. And I said, no, we got that guy there, number 17, that captain right there, it's going to change. You watch. And obviously it did, and we won that game.
It was probably my favorite moment in lacrosse history, just because there were so many people here, all our families were in town, the pressure was on us, but yet we were loose. I think as the captain, he did such a great job of keeping everyone's nerves down, making it fun, making it enjoyable, and it was an absolutely remarkable day, a remarkable time in our lives.
You know, it was pretty emotional at the end of the championship in 2009. He passed the trophy to me, and you know, I knew how much it meant to him, to you know, about other guys. It wasn't ever about him, and you know, I was in awe. He never really knew that, but you know, I really looked up to him. To this day, I looked up to him, and he was one of the best captains that's ever been around, and you know, the organization's blessed to have him here.
Tracy's legacy in Calgary and throughout the NLL is legendary. A remarkable combination of skill, determination, and leadership. Kelusky is without a doubt one of the greatest lacrosse players to have ever played the game, culminating in his induction into the Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2016.
I think he's been a great ambassador of the sport of lacrosse, and anybody who's got the opportunity to meet Tracy, work with Tracy, play with Tracy, is a better person for it.
You know, I think Trace has got to be in the argument for one of the best ever for a couple reasons. He's a small guy, but what he did have, he had heart, and he had ambition, and he had passion, and those are qualities that lots of players don't have nowadays. It's very rarely you find someone with the superstar skills that has that passion and that drive and determination. So if I'm making an all-NLL team, that guy's on my team any day of the week, and I know he's going to come out there and do whatever it takes for our all-NLL team to be successful.
The game has meant everything to him. He eats, sleeps, breathes lacrosse. It's been his living, right? He's one of the few players that have been able to make a career from lacrosse. So whether it's playing the game, whether it's coaching the game, you know, and you know, he's given back to the youth as well.
To be named, you know, or even talked about pound for pound one of the best players, like, that just doesn't happen by accident. He walked the walk, he didn't just talk the talk, and it was contagious. He made you a better player, and he made you a better person, and I think that's why he was able to garner so much from his teammates.
You know, Tracy means a lot to the NLL. He's a great ambassador for the sport. I know in Calgary, you know, we ran camps, we ran clinics, you know, to get out in the community to sell the brand of lacrosse, and Tracy is continuing to do that. He runs lacrosse camps, he still coaches in the NLL. He's you know, he's doing a lot for the sport of lacrosse, and the NLL needs more players like Tracy Kelusky that love lacrosse and just want to see it grow and want to see it be really successful.
It is an honor for the Calgary Roughnecks to have Tracy Kelusky join Caleb Toth in the Forever a Roughneck program, a distinction honoring the best and brightest members of the Calgary Roughnecks franchise through their history. Congratulations to Tracy, his wife Emily, and their son Keller.
Kolaski.
Wow. Back home, back to Calgary. I love it. Love being here, love this building, love this team. Thank you guys. First off, I want to thank Mike Board, the Flames organization, the Roughneck organization for this unbelievable honor. Kurt Malosky, I know Mouse, you were a big part of this. Bordy, it means the world to me to be standing here in front of you guys, former teammates, some of my former teammates that are here today. This team, this logo, which means the world to me. Thank you so much. Like Brad said, I got a phone call in Montreal when Montreal was wrapping up about coming to Calgary, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to be a good fit or not. And after my first time here, I can honestly say it's the best decision I made in my entire life, next to marrying my beautiful wife, of course. But awesome, love this city. Brad Bannister, we wouldn't be here without you. I wanted to acknowledge and thank some people right now. We wouldn't be here without Brad Bannister, former owner of the Calgary Roughnecks. Brad, thank you for everything that you've done, your ownership group. We're pretty fortunate we have some awesome people involved with that team. Caleb Toth, my roomie, one of the best ever Roughneck to play. Your brother. But it was easy to come to Calgary and lay it on the line every game when you see the passion that this guy had. Caleb was so in love with the city, so proud to be a Calgarian, and you know what? As I got to know more people in Calgary, it was very clear that everybody was proud, very proud to be from Calgary, to be a Calgarian, and that was something that was very infectious. I'm proud to say that I'm a Calgarian, even born in Ontario, but I'm proud to say I'm a Calgarian because of Caleb. I want to say thanks to our ownership group, our coaching group that we had, the late Chris Hall, Terry Sanderson, Troy Cordingley, some of our generals when I was here, and it was pretty easy to play under those guys when you knew what your role was and what you were expected to do. Players such as Andrew Brider, Devin Ray, Scotty Forbes, Carnegie boys, some of the guys that are sitting here, Dobes. Friendships that last a lifetime, and that to me is most important. I want to thank my family, my mom, my number one supporter. For you to come out here, it means the world to me. Sitting next to my mom or standing next to my mom is my dad. None of you guys see my dad, but he's there. He was my biggest fan, and I know how proud he was of me, and I know that he's here today. My wife, Emily, thanks for your undying support. We moved to Calgary. I think we had about $500 in our bank account, and we moved to Calgary, and we called it home for 8 years, and it was a pretty awesome ride. So thank you for believing in me and allowing me to chase my dreams. My son, Cal, quite the little athlete, and I know what my dad felt because I'm proud of you every day, bud. Lastly, I want to thank the city of Calgary and these great fans. The best fans in the NLL. The best fans in the NLL. I'm with New England right now, and we're in our infancy, and we're, if there's a model franchise, and a franchise that I know that's built on a solid foundation, we'd model it after the Calgary Roughnecks and its fans. I remember when I first came to Calgary in '03, we had to, on the road, we wore cowboy hats. I always felt like I was a bit of an imposter anytime I put on a cowboy hat. But now I feel like I'm coming home. Thank you, Calgary. Love you guys. This is unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Lastly, before when this banner goes up, and I've said it before, I want all the fans here that have been to the games, and during the 2002 era to 2010 when I played with some unbelievable Warriors, guys that played the game the right way. Like I said, people that are here today, and I could go on forever and list everybody. But when you look at my jersey beside Caleb's, or you look at Caleb's, you think of those guys. You think of the Kyle Gowndries, the Jesse Phillips, the Devin Rays, the Scott Forbes, the Kurt Malowskis. It wasn't about me, it was about the team, and it's about those guys. I'm able to accept this award because of the teammates I played with. Thanks.
Roughneck fans, the time has come to direct your attention to the south end of the turf, where a banner will be raised to the rafters of the Rough House, commemorating Tracy Kelusky as forever a Roughneck. We now welcome Tracy and his family to please stand on the corner of the carpet for the banner raising presentation. Following tonight's game, Tracy's banner will join Caleb Toast, where it will remain on permanent display. Roughneck fans, forever a Roughneck, number 17, Tracy Kelusky.
Honoring Tracy Kelusky, one of the all-time greats for the Calgary Roughnecks, and indeed in the entire NLL. And we're going to take you down to the floor now and for the singing of the national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof their flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
All right, welcome back to Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary. My name is Grant Farhall with Ryan Ballantyne, set to bring you tonight's action between the New England Black Wolves and the Calgary Roughnecks. We'll have a brief warm-up here for the players who've been sitting for a while through that ceremony for Tracy Koleski, and a little bit of cleanup to do on the floor as well. Get rid of the chairs, get rid of the red carpet. So we're probably about 5 minutes away from getting this one going. But Ryan, you and I have spent many years watching Tracy Koleski on the floor. A great player on the floor, a good person off the floor, one of the first guys that you and I dealt with back in the days of our podcast and whatnot, and just a completely class act in addition to being one heck of a player.
Well, not just one heck of a player, one heck of a teammate. It came out, you saw it in the face of Caleb Toth during that ceremony. Caleb brought to tears by the idea of him, of Tracy joining him in the rafters here at the Saddledome. I'll never forget an episode of Roughnecks Radio, probably one of the more interesting moments on that podcast, when Tracy burst in, having not been requested for, slammed his hand down on the table and told us that if we were going to talk junk about his teammates, we should do it to his face, not knowing that that wasn't you and I, that was the broadcast crew that night. But he was having none of it and had no interest in finding out that. But to his credit, figured it out, came back the next week, apologized for interrupting the show and said, I'm so sorry. And I said, you want to come and talk to us like that anytime, you come on ahead. The fire that was in that man for Calgary lacrosse.
And his teammates, and I mean, the efforts he made locally in terms of grassroots lacrosse too. And you talk about the growing sport of lacrosse in Calgary. It was Caleb Toth, it was Tracy Koleski's in those early days of this franchise that really spent time not just on the floor here with the team, but out in schools, coaching, mentoring, exposing kids to lacrosse. And you look at a guy like Holden Katoni and his relationship with Tracy Koleski, that is the long-term impact that he has had on lacrosse in Calgary, and just a real pleasure to have watched him and a real honor to be here tonight for that ceremony as his name and number goes up to the rafters here at Scotiabank Saddledome, and the fans here showing their appreciation as well. Let's get to tonight's game because it's a big one. I said off the top, it's a must-win for the Calgary Roughnecks. They have dropped 3 in a row. The last time we saw them here, they laid the boots to the Georgia Swarm, and we thought the team was getting back on track. They go on the road, they lose 3 straight, and now find themselves really in a tough situation to try and reel in the Vancouver South for that final playoff spot. It starts tonight, and this one is basically a must-win for the Calgary Roughnecks.
Yeah, you're a game and a half behind Vancouver at this point at 4-9. Vancouver 5-7, so you can catch Vancouver in the win total, and then you're going to need some help elsewhere. But essential. If the Roughnecks want to have a thought about a playoff spot, it starts here. It starts tonight, and it starts against the New England Black Wolves, who come into this game at 6-6. They're a 500 team, despite having guys like Sean Evans on the team, who Calgary fans are very familiar with, the reigning MVP when he was traded from here a season and a half ago or 2 seasons ago. But at the end of the day, you need to have a win here tonight if you're the Calgary Roughnecks, something to build on, something to go forward with. And if you can play like they played in the last 30 minutes of last night's game, in that second half against Saskatchewan, they were down 8-3. They come back, they get within 2 goals towards the end before they take a bad penalty and end up losing 13-10. They need to have more efforts like they had in the second half and less like they had in the first half of last night's action, where they were allowed themselves to be outscored 8-3.
Now, you talked about needing help. They do get some help on the out-of-town scoreboard, as Toronto has beaten Vancouver 13-7. So Calgary now just a game back in the standings, can close to a half game. We should note that Vancouver owns the tiebreak as well. And starting goalies, Frankie Chiliano, 4-5, 12.88, and a 75.2% save percentage. Evan Kirk, the reigning goalie of the year in the NLL, 6-5, 12.11 goals against average, and a save percentage just over 77.5% on the season. Face-off battle will be Tyler Burton versus one of the best in the business right now, Jay Thornbert, who is well over 50% on the dot and leading the league when it comes to loose balls. And the game is now underway. Glad you're with us tonight across NLLTV.com, and it will be the Black Wolves getting the opening position here, and it will get the first chance to get on the scoreboard as they enter the zone. Now here is Sean Evans, his first game back here in Calgary, played against the Roughnecks at home a season ago. There's a rebound after a kick save by Chiliano, scooped up by the Black Wolves, and they will get us up an opportunity here. Evans gets it again, near side. He surveys the scene. Now in the high slot area, winds, fakes the shot, still with it. Now turns around, takes the shot, scores! Sean Evans opens the scoring. 1-0 Black Wolves.
That's something you saw a lot here from Sean Evans when he was in a Roughneck uniform, cutting to the center, fighting through traffic, taking contact and finding the back of the net. One of the best in the game, Sean Evans, and shows it there with a nice goal to put the Black Wolves up 1 here, and immediately pointed back towards the bench where the man of the evening, Tracy Koluski, the assistant coach, the offensive coach here for the New England Black Wolves.
Well, a lot in common between those two men in terms of style of play, in terms of leadership quality, Sean Evans and Tracy Koluski. And Evans has the goal here, and as a result, New England has the 1-0 lead, as Calgary now gets possession off the faceoff, and they'll get their first look at Evan Kirk as they work it down to the far corner. Now up high to Dane Doby. Doby now passes off, gets the return feed, takes a shot off a body. Digby tried to track it down near the wall, can't. And New England will take over. 1-0 early in this one, as the Black Wolves now enter the Calgary zone. And here's Oakes, the rookie, back to the defender. Now passes back to Evans. Evans swings it across far side, where the Black Wolves will work it from there. That pass doesn't work. Tyler Burton now in a battle and does a nice job to track down the turnover ball there. And now he comes forward. Has Greg Harnett ahead of him, but decides to run it over before bouncing it to Harnett. Harnett now will head to the bench. Before doing so, passes off. And now this is Shatler with it. Shatler up high now to Berg. Berg now into the corner. And now it's to Digby. Digby takes the shot. Save made by Kirk. Rebound, though, controlled by Calgary. Shatler hangs on to it, gets some help. Still being guarded, though. And finally will pass off to Berg. Berg now gives it to Dixon. Dixon held without a goal last night. Passes off. There's a shot. Scores! Wesley Berg dances across the crease. 1-1.
Oh, what a goal from Wes Berg here as he goes across the crease, draws Evan Kirk over to the left side before going back over the top and putting it over the shoulder on the reverse feed. What a move there from Wes Berg as he gets the Roughnecks on the board. Ties the game at 1 with 12:44 to go in the first.
That challenge flag comes flying as Coach Glenn Clark wants to take a peek at this one. So we will have our first review. I mentioned Curtis Dixon held without a goal last night against Saskatchewan. That hasn't happened very often. Only the 7th time in 115 career games that Superman was unable to get a goal, but he did pick up 5 helpers. But, you know, he's going to be fired up tonight. That's the funny thing is these back-to-back games, you would think that would favor the team that doesn't play them, but quite often, Ryan, we see that the team that plays on back-to-back nights tends to get into more offensive of a rhythm a little more easier. They've had a chance to play together the night before, establish some chemistry, and quite often we see that that team comes out with a little more offensive punch early. We'll see if that holds true tonight. Here's the replay.
Yeah, he can't really...
He lands, well...
I mean, that view is not going to give you the definitive view of whether or not there was green between his foot and the line. I think the overhead view is probably going to be our best one, but the referee will get all the available views from our erstwhile replay crew down there in the bowels of the Calgary Saddledome. Some of the best in the business down there giving us the pictures. Looks clean.
Boy, it's tough to tell.
Boy, that 1 foot, that'll be the question. It's not over the line when that foot lands. And it looks, I mean, the call on the floor was goal. So the question is whether or not that white shoe is on the white line.
Well, and it almost looks like there's a bit of green between the toe and the line there, but it's really hard to tell. Because you can't tell exactly when he plants. It looks like he plants there, but see again, like I think I see a bit of green.
There might be. Well, it's whether or not there's also green on the pinky toe, and that'll be the best view. And I think that looks clean from there.
Tough call though. I could see this one going either way.
Fortunately,
but, I mean,
they don't pay us to be officials. They only pay us to talk about the results of the officials. But a tough call there. Again, the call on the floor is goal. And his foot certainly floats over that white line, but does it land on the white line when he plants will be the question for our official here tonight. Looks like he's made his determination. He'll come out, and I'm sure the crowd will either lustily agree or disagree, depending on the outcome of the call.
Oh, and it is a goal.
So we've got a goal here from Westberg. Again, a nice effort, his 23rd of the year, as Westberg continues his offensive progression.
And for a team that has struggled with slow starts during this 3-game losing streak, not falling behind in this one early is critical. And after Sean Evans got a very early goal, Calgary gets the answer, and as a result, 1-1. New England will get possession here off the face-off, and they'll look for an answer of their own. Kyle Buchanan gets the return pass, steps over the restraining line, and now see Kirk runs to the bench. No penalty upcoming, so they're just going to try and work a 6-on-5 here. Crowley sends it across the other side. Here comes a shot. Chiliano gets a piece of that. Burton over at the bench does a nice job of gathering that one in. He's been all over loose balls early in this one. Now Bell ahead of the play has a little bit of room. Bell takes a shot, and a big save there by Evan Kirk. Now ahead of the play, here's an opportunity the other way. Shot, scores! Kyle Buchanan never left the floor, and as a result, he gets the quick strike opportunity. It's 2-1 Black Wolves.
Yeah, Kyle Buchanan was all alone on this side of the floor as the offense tried to get off the floor there for Calgary. And you can see he faked the first shot and then goes wide on Chiliano, just getting it between the wickets there as Chiliano caught a little bit off balance with that shot, and Buchanan doubles it up to a 2-1 lead for the New England Black Wolves.
How about that pass from Evan Kirk? Rainbow right into the stick of Buchanan. That is a well-earned assist by the netminder. Now here's Coyle with it. He'll pass off to the goal scorer, Buchanan. And now entering the zone is Oakes. Oakes now gets some help and gets some attention from Cummings, so he'll pass off. Black Wolves leading this one 2-1 and now looking for more. That pass goes awry, and Calgary will have a chance here to turn it over. Nice job there. And off to the races are the Roughnecks. Cummings has it in transition. Cummings passes off to Doby off the bench. And now Doby will just slow things down as Calgary will change out to get the full offensive set on the floor. including Berg, the goal scorer for the Roughnecks. He has it now, driving the net, splits the defense. Oh, and tried to go behind the back. Wes Berg feeling it early in this one. Can't get the shot on net, though. And now here comes the Black Wolves in transition. It's Ryan Hodeling. He'll pass off now. And now Evans with it. Evans draws attention from Bell and then flips it back to a man off the bench. Here comes Oakes. He takes a shot. Boot save there by Chiliano. Ball to the corner, recovered there by Kevin Buchanan. That's going to give the Black Wolves another opportunity here on this offensive set. Here's Oakes again. Pass over to the other side is a good one to Veltman. Veltman now takes the shot. Chiliano another save. And Calgary gets it back with 10:40 to go in the first quarter. 2-1. New England on top. Dan McRae now in transition. Pulls up. And now here's Riley Lowen. Had a good night against the Rush. 2 goals and 3 points for Lowen. He has it again. Passes off. Now here's Doby. Flashed on the shot just as he was releasing it. And I also think stepped in the crease. So either way, Black Wolves get the ball back.
Yeah, Dane Doby just couldn't quite get the shot off there. A nice stick check from the New England defense.
Here's Crowley now. He draws the attention of the defense. Has to run all the way back past the line, then passes over to the far side. Now here's an opportunity. Shot in on net. Chiliano makes another save. Shots on goal early, favoring the Black Wolves 7-3. Timeout on the floor with the score 2-1. New England on top. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Missed the action in the NLL last weekend? Maybe you want a little analysis. Leah Gordon and Tyson Geik break things down twice a week in the NLL's flagship show, The Box. Catch all of the highlights, scores, and exclusive interviews in both our pre- and post-game episodes every week on NLLTV.com.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
.54 to go here in the first quarter. And Calgary with the possession. Wes Berg runs it over center. Berg has the Calgary goal, passes off to Doby. Doby now to Schattler. Schattler will work it from the near side. Gives it to Digby. Digby passes off to Dixon. Now Dixon to Doby. Now up high back to Dixon. Fakes the shot. Dixon falls, hits the shot on net. And a big save there by Evan Kirk, who looks sharp early in this one.
Yeah, Curtis Dixon off a lot of body contact on his way to the net there before throwing the underhander. I don't think they had a lot on it, though.
Evans passes to the man off the bench, and now the Black Wolves with the 2-1 lead, looking for a little bit of insurance in this one. Evans near side. Evans with a bit of a step. One-hand pass. Oh, what a pass, and a big save by Chiliano, as somehow that got through to Oakes, who got a good shot on net. Chiliano with the better save. Now Bell has a man off the bench. It's Catoni driving the net. Catoni tries to stuff it far side and puts it wide of the net. Now the Black Wolves come down the floor. It's Burns with it. Burns will wait for the offense to get on the floor. And it gives it to Evans, who now has it. No surprise, the offense just absolutely every time down the floor goes through Evans. Swim move, oh, pass off. I think that pass was so good that Crowley couldn't think it could get there. That's what you got to think with Sean Evans. Just when you think he's out of room or out of space, he can find you.
And some old school Sean Evans action right there as Chiliano stepped out of the crease. Evans gave him a bit of a cross check for his trouble.
Shattler now up high to Digby. Digby closes with room. Pass over to the far side. Try to go back to Digby. That didn't work. Dixon finds it off the wall though with 5 to shoot. Goes behind the net, tries to stuff it in. Scores! Curtis Dixon finds a way. 2-2.
I have to see a replay. I have no idea how Curtis Dixon scored that goal from here. I saw him dive across the crease.
Yeah, I thought there's no way.
Kirk looked like he had all day, and it's somehow off the ground and in the net. What a play from Curtis Dixon. My goodness.
I just don't know how he does that and stays out of the crease.
And a wink for the camera. Curtis Dixon ties it at 2. What a play from number 17.
Black Wolves get the face-off win. It's Buchanan with it again. Buchanan goes over to the far side before getting the pass back, and now onto the stick of Oakes. Oakes fakes a shot, almost got around the defender, and then lost the stick. Everyone loses their stick. Lumber everywhere. And now Dan McRae has room. Dan McRae stops, pulls up, spins off the defender. McRae to the net, scores! Dan McRae! 3-2 Calgary.
A nice play there from Dan McRae as the defenseman looked like he was peeling off to wait for everybody else to get on the floor, and then quickly reversed field to get up on to Evan Kirk, put it in the net before falling into the crease. But you can see just a nice spin move there, then going low on Kirk before that one went in the net. And what a nice move there from Dan McRae to put the Roughnecks, give them their first lead of the night at 3-2.
There are some pretty goals early in this one. We still have 7 1/4 remaining in the first quarter, and already a couple candidates for highlights of the night or goals of the week, whatever you want to call it. Regardless, Calgary with the 3-2 lead here, and they get the face-off win as well. Dixon passes down to the corner to Westberg. Westberg now to Katoni. Katoni shoots, saved there by Evan Kirk. Rebound to the Black Wolves, and they push it down the floor to Sheldon Burns in transition. He's got room, takes the shot. Chiliano might have got a piece of that. No, shot clock doesn't reset, so it was just wide. And Katoni picks up the loose ball ahead to Shattler. Shattler looks up and sees nothing but Black Wolves, so he's going to hang on to it here. Passes off now to Digby. Digby now to Lowen. Lowen double team. Try to cut to the net, loses the ball as he was trying to do so. And as a result, New England has it ahead to Burns. Burns greeted by Dane Dobie, can't turn it over before Burns steps over center. And now the Black Wolves will go to work here offensively. Riley O'Connor, former member of the Roughnecks, first round pick a couple years back, was traded in the offseason for a second rounder. Has seen his offense really improve the last number of weeks for the Black Wolves, finding a home in New England. Now Evans with it. Evans cuts to the net, pass off, fake shot. Chiliano makes the save as he stops Crowley, who had a good look on net. And now ahead, here's Wild in transition. Wild has a man ahead of him, takes the shot, and a big save there by Evan Kirk as he stops Curtis Dixon. And now we go the other way. It's Evans again. Evans now bounces off the defender, puts a shot on net. Big save there by Chiliano. Battle for it in the wall, and Calgary comes out with it.
Bit of a track meet here the last couple possessions up and down the floor. Curtis Dixon had a good look off of Mitch Wild's pass. Evan Kirk stopping him. Sean Evans coming back the other way. Chiliano shutting down the former league MVP.
Yeah, lots of transition opportunities early in this one. Here's Riley Lowen with it again. Lowen with 10 to shoot, takes the shot. Kirk makes the easy save, but rebound bounces all the way out to Tyler Digby. Up high to Riley Lowen. Lowen now onto the stick of Shattler. Shattler spins off the defender. Off-speed shot, scores! Jeff Shattler makes it 4-2 as he bounces one in past Evan Kirk with a bit of a knuckler.
Yeah, just fires it with a little bit of spin on it as he ducks around. Catches the top side of the crease before bouncing up into the top corner just behind Evan Kirk, doubling up that lead, make it 4-2 now in favor of the Roughnecks with 5:20 to go in quarter number one.
And Calgary, again, who has struggled with slow starts, although This is more like the team we saw a few weeks ago when they came out and put together a real good first half against the Swarm. Now here's Burton with it. Burton with space. Peels off. Plays it up high to Curtis Dixon. Shots on goal now 10-10 as Calgary has come back to even that up, and they lead on the scoreboard 4-2 here on a 3-goal run here and looking for more. Digby passes to Katoni, back to Digby now. Digby gets a pick, gives it to Shatler. Shatler fakes a shot. Now tries his luck again from outside. This time, Evan Kirk makes the save, but juggles around with the rebound for a while before recovering. And we have a timeout on the floor with the Roughnecks leading at 4-2. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Forward the Calgary Roughnecks lead the New England Black Wolves here tonight on Tracy Kleski night at Scotiabank Saddledome, being honored with the Forever a Roughneck honors. Of course, also an assistant coach with New England, so sort of mixed emotions maybe. Nonetheless, a special night here in Calgary, and the Black Wolves now will push it down the floor, looking to close the game to a 1-goal affair. Evans has it up high. Evans now to Crowley. He's defended, bounces off a double team, but loses the ball in doing so. And now here comes the Roughnecks. Scott Carnegie in transition. He sends it back to Harnett, now to Dan McRae. And now Calgary will change things up. McRae now already has a goal tonight. Thought about going to the net there. Instead comes back to Berg. Berg now plays it to Dixon. Dixon spins off the defender. Dixon tries to cut to the net, was sealed off. Gives it to Berg instead, who tries to go low on Kirk, who shuts the wickets, makes the save. And New England gets the ball back here. Here's Burns with it. Burns passes off and will go to the bench. Here's Buchanan with it. Buchanan sends it across to the other side. Now back to Evans. Evans now fakes the shot and then hits the defender in the body. Buchanan recovers it. Kyle Buchanan sends it up high. There's a shot. Punched out by Chiliano into the netting. Be a fresh 30 for the Black Wolves.
Sharp save there from Chiliano. Had to get over last second to fire it away.
Evans now tries a shot, misses the far side. Rebound to the Black Wolves. Cut into the net and a big save there by Chiliano as he stops Riley O'Connor, who cut hard and went down hard.
Yeah, Garrett McIntosh is going to go to the box. 2 minutes for, I believe, for an illegal cross check.
Checking from behind is the call. So that'll send the Black Wolves to the power play. The power play has struggled. 38.6% for the season. That's last in the entire NLL. The penalty kill for the Roughnecks, 51.43. And hard to figure out what's wrong with the Wolves' power play when you have some of the weapons they do, including Sean Evans. Nonetheless, they go to work now. Evans with the ball. Behind the back, pass to Crowley. Now they'll go across the other side. There's another save by Chiliano. Rebound, though, recovered by the Black Wolves. There's Crowley now, passes off. Evans up high. Takes the shot right into the stick of Harnett, who then drops his stick with the back check from Evans. Evans now has it again. Quick stick by O'Connor doesn't work, drops it, has to go near the boards to recover it, now goes behind the net. Evans wants it and gets it. Now he'll send it across the other side. Crowley now up high, takes the shot. Chiliano just gets enough of it. It bounces through him, but stays out.
And a nice stop there from Chiliano, getting just enough as it bounced along the goal line before bouncing out. And the Roughnecks can kill 30 seconds with the 1 minute left here on the power play.
Curtis Dixon, always a threat shorthand that has the ball now. He'll give it to Schattler. Schattler facing a double team. Now he's got a one-on-one situation and puts a couple moves on that. Sends it down low, and stuff attempt there by Dixon. Literally trying to score from behind the net. Save made by Evan Kirk.
Yeah, threw it into the glove of Evan Kirk from the top side.
33 seconds remaining in the power play for New England. They're down in this one 4-2 with 1:49 remaining here in the opening quarter. Buchanan passes off. Now Crowley has it as they go back and forth. And now here's Evans with room, takes the shot, and again, Chiliano gets enough. Evans, though, gets the ball near the boards now with 13 seconds remaining on the power play. Looking to the side of the net. That doesn't work. Now behind the net, there's a stuff attempt by Buchanan. Score, nope, no goal. Stepping in the crease. Buchanan doesn't agree with it, I think motioning for a challenge. It is not forthcoming, though.
And there it is.
Now it is.
So the challenge flag is on the floor.
And actually, that was Tracy Koleski that lobbied on behalf of Buchanan to indeed throw the flag. And as he did so, the head coach agreed. And as a result, we'll get the second challenge here of the quarter for New England. The first one did not go in their favor. And this one, I don't know. I mean, Buchanan was all over that crease. If he managed to stay out, then that'll be quite something.
Well, I think the question is going to be whether or not he lands before the ball crosses the line.
Yeah.
And it was on Chiliano and didn't really drop in until after a moment. So this one's all going to be about physics, and they're going to need a couple combination of angles here to figure it out, because, of course, you can see Buchanan's well on the ground before that one lands. And it's where the ball when the ball crossed the line, whether or not he was on the ground. And you can see it's on Chiliano's back there.
And when do you see it roll past the line? Very hard to spot.
Yeah, when does it go over the line? And, of course, the call on the floor is no goal. You can see it's in there and rolling around. It's on Chiliano's back, but from that angle, you can't really see, is it over the line or not? And I'm really confident this isn't going to give the angle we need.
And the official right in the perfect spot to make the call was emphatic making it.
Yeah, there's no question the official said no. And you can see him there right on the edge of the crease. So, I mean, obviously he's got a good idea of where the ball is before it goes in. So
got a better look than we do, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly from here.
This is the best angle, and I don't think you can tell here. The ball is bouncing around, and you can't see where it is. It's in there somewhere, but I don't know if you can say where it is relative to the line.
Yeah, you can say it's rolling down his back, and then it's clearly inline, but is he on the ground? Wow, this might be our best angle. Because the ball is not, well, it's across the line there, and he's in the air. So that might be a really good challenge. I think you can see the ball is across the line. He's still moving. That one should have told the story here. We will see.
And indeed, I think that was that last replay that gave them the definitive proof.
Yeah.
Really the only proof. The other angles didn't really show it, but that last replay, and a good job by the crew of getting that replay, and indeed it's a goal. And that'll make it 4-3 now as the Black Wolves close to within a single goal here.
Yeah, not a great challenge from the coach, but now you've used both of your challenges in the first quarter.
Yep.
At this point now, I mean, it's a 4-3 game, but at this point now you're out of challenges for the game. A tough road to hoe here the rest of the way to hope that you don't run into another situation where you'd like to have one of those back.
Here's Thornburg off the face-off all the way, nearly put it up high for the goal. And then a big hit thrown, and Thornburg all over the loose ball near the Roughnecks bench, chops it back to the corner. Burns going to go down there. He's also been all over the loose balls here. This time he's trying to pin it in the corner, and now come away with it as he's falling, delivers it to Dan McRae. Great job there by Tyler Burton. McRae steps over center. Calgary now will look to answer that Black Wolves goal here as they're now up just by 1-4-3. Dane Dobie spins off his man, passes to Schattler. Schattler fakes the shot, takes the shot, and Kirk makes a nice save there.
Yeah, Jeff Schattler, a couple nice moves to get loose and find himself in there to get a shot on Kirk.
And Calgary back-checking hard there, both these teams. Absolutely all over things on the forecheck, and that time the Black Wolves just get it over center in time, and now Evans has it directing traffic. Very much like Tracy Kleski, no question who the general is on the floor when it comes to the Black Wolves. It is Sean Evans, just as it was Tracy Kleski for many years here in Calgary. There's a shot off the bar from well outside.
Just like for many years it was Sean Evans here in Calgary.
That's true.
When Evie was here, there was no question who was running the offense.
Now just 5 seconds to go. The Black Wolves work the 6-on-5. There's a shot. Kick save made by Shiliano. And that'll do it for the quarter, and what a quarter. As a little bit of everything in that one, and after 4-3, the Calgary Roughnecks with the 1-goal lead. We're going to see if Andrew McBride can grab a member of the Calgary Roughnecks down on the floor, and if he does, we'll take you down to the floor for that interview. Looks like he's going to talk to the captain of the Calgary Roughnecks, Mike Carnegie. In mere moments, and now we will take you to the floor.
Here with Captain Mike Carnegie. Mike, an inspirational ceremony before the game. Tell me some of the traits and characteristics you learned from Tracy Kleski.
Well, if you're going to model yourself after a captain, why not TK, right? I mean, unbelievable winner. The guidance he showed me as a young kid coming to Calgary is invaluable. So I owe a debt of gratitude to Tracy for what he's done for Calgary and for my own personal professional career.
Darryl Veltman, Sean Evans back on the offensive side for the Black Wolves, a dynamic offense. Yeah. How do you control them throughout the remainder of the game?
You got to get pressure. You got to stick to the outside, get pressure, make them play faster than they can.
Mike Carnegie, everyone, 4-3 after the first half. Good start for the Roughnecks.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
Let's welcome.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday, there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears, you name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check, and the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds, we lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
To start the second quarter, and the Roughnecks will get the first look here offensively. Dixon has it. Dixon tries to cut to the net, sealed off nicely there by the defense. Now he'll pass off to Dane Doby. Doby now is looking for Shatler. That pass doesn't work. Dixon gets it though. Tries a quick shot, scores! Sneaks one through. Evan Kirk, second of the night for Curtis Dixon. 5-3 Calgary.
Well, you mentioned Dixon was held off the score sheet last night in the goal category, but no question he was going to get back on track tonight as the NLL's leading goal scorer headed into tonight's action. Gets back on with his second of the night, sneaks one past Kirk as he just stepped out, wired a shot, and I think maybe caught Evan Kirk by surprise there, but puts one in before the time could expire, and as a result, gives the Roughnecks a 5-3 lead.
That means Curtis Dixon just now 3 goals shy of 300, and he has gotten to that mark real early in his career. Very prolific goal scorer. Actually has a chance at breaking Gary Gates' record for the most goals in 2 straight seasons. Needs to get to 56 in total in order to do so. Although the bagel last night makes it a bit of a tougher road now. That shot goes well wide and rolls all the way back to Frank Chiliano. He'll just scoop it and put it in the corner where New England will take over now, down by 2, which is the most any team has led in this one. Pass into the high slot area. And now that pass doesn't work. Behind the net, Evans comes out with it. And now passes off. This is Buchanan. Buchanan hangs on, tries a shot, scores! Buchanan bounces one top corner, 5-4. We are seeing all sorts of trickery out there tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, that took not just an interesting bounce, but a good-sized spin off the carpet.
I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think it's intentional, but a nice spinning shot there. A little English on the ball from Buchanan to make it 5-4 as he gets one past Chiliano. 19 shots already for the Black Wolves.
Shots on goal 19-15 favoring New England. And now they're back to within 1 here, 5-4, and with the ball off the face-off win. Buchanan passes off, and eventually it goes down to the corner. Now there's a quick shot and a save there by Chiliano off of Riley O'Connor, who was Johnny on the spot. Now Scott Carnegie has it, gives it to Wild. Mitch Wild now looking to pass off and gives it to Dane Doby. Doby loses the ball. I'm not sure what happened there. And that allows the Black Wolves to take over.
Yeah, just floated out of his stick. That's the second time that's happened to Doby here already tonight.
So that'll give the Black Wolves a chance to tie things up here. Buchanan passes off. Now there's a nice behind the back pass. Shot on goal, saved by Chiliano. And Dan McRae does a nice job of finding that loose ball. Has a man ahead, it's Bell. Instead comes to Dixon. Dixon closes in. Dixon takes the shot, misses the corner. Had room up there, but put it about a foot wide. And New England will take over again. Evans again, not even bothering to get off the floor that time. Just stays out there and gets the ball. Bounce pass, and now Evans will take a bit of a break as he heads to the bench. That pass doesn't work. Comes off the end wall. Recovered there by the Black Wolves. Still time. There's a shot. Scores! Seth Oakes scores the goal. And we're tied up again, 5-5. Not how you would draw it up, but he stays with it. Finds the loose ball. And shows a bit of a goal scorer's touch there. And ties things up.
Yeah, a nice goal here. Really, that one came off the end boards. A couple of Roughnecks had a chance at that loose ball before it wound up in the stick of the Black Wolves player. He puts it behind Chiliano, who will head to the bench. Looks like he's got a bit of an equipment malfunction. He's going to get his helmet checked out.
Yeah, problem with the lid. As the trainer goes down the tunnel to adjust things.
5-5 here tonight. Attendance just announced here on Tracy Kelusky night. Solid crowd. 10,771 people in attendance.
And tickets were available for this game for $17.
Yes.
In part, in honor
of Tracy Kelusky's number 17.
And if you didn't see any of the warm-up, which you probably didn't because there was no way to really do so, but the Calgary Roughnecks came out wearing some old-school uniforms, each of them wearing number 17 Tracy Kelusky jerseys, and those will be I believe, sold off as well.
Yeah, they're available on elevateauctions.com, so check that out. Of course, I'm sure the NLL will be tweeting out a link, as well as the Roughnecks will be tweeting out the link for that auction. Of course, all of the proceeds will be going to charity to benefit to benefit the Tucker Brave cause.
Black Wolves now tied 5-5, looking to retake the lead. They had the lead early in this one, 2-1, and then the Roughnecks came back. There's a shot on net. Chiliano makes the save. Rebound to the Roughnecks ahead of the play. Here's Curtis Manning in transition. Manning has a man off the bench. It's Doby. Manning's just going to pull up, though, as Ball was out there to greet him. Now Riley Lowen will give it to Dane Doby. Doby now taking a look at his options, decides to pass to Berg, and Berg will come to Digby. Digby gets a pick from Berg. Passes to Shatler. Shatler now gets around one man. Shatler pass to Lowen doesn't work, and it bounces to Kirk, who comes up with it and now looks to move it down the floor quickly. There's a shot. Chiliano makes the save and does a nice job of hanging on to that rebound. Roughnecks now come down the floor as things settle down for the first time really in this game, as the first quarter, as you described it, Ryan, was pretty much a track meet. And now things have settled in here a little bit. Shatler with it. And we'll get a loose ball infraction, I believe, there, and that'll turn the ball back over. Here's Bucktooth for the Black Wolves. The veteran steps over center and passes off. As again, the Black Wolves a chance to get their first lead in some time. Chad Colt passes to Buchanan. Buchanan will send it down to the corner. There's a pass in tight that gets through, but then the ball over the net. I think we're going to have a penalty here to the Roughnecks.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get, it might be, again, a checking from behind penalty. We'll see what the official call is.
Calgary number 25, minor holding.
Holding call on Cummings. He'll set for 2 or less, as the Black Wolves power play will go back to work.
Now power play 1 for 1 on the night, as they scored late in their first power play, under 30 seconds to go. And again, this power play last in the league heading into action tonight, so a chance to get things back on track as they work it around. Buchanan has it now. Buchanan passes off, then gets the return feed, and he'll go to the other side. Tough take there. Now it's played to Crowley. He passes down low. Good ball movement here on the power play. And then eventually it just rolls to Chiliano, though. And after all that, Black Wolves really don't get anything out of it.
And Chiliano had to get rid of the ball quickly there. Just throws it down into the corner. Dane Doby unable to connect. Of course, a 7-second violation in play there. Nobody back for Chiliano to pass to.
Doby does a good job of killing some time just by getting in the way of everything down in the corner there. But now the Black Wolves do eventually get it. Coyle has it. He'll roll it. And the power play goes back to work with 65 seconds to go here. Here's O'Connor, takes the shot. Elbow save there by Chiliano on his former teammate. Black Wolves will retain possession. O'Connor, 10 goals in his last 6 games, as his production has picked up of late. Has the ball again. Now he comes to Buchanan. Buchanan draws some attention. He plays it up high. Now there's a shot saved by Chiliano on Sean Evans.
And a nice stop from Chiliano there, getting the stick in the way, cradling the shot.
Bad pass there by Wild to McRae. Actually went off the official. McRae recovers it. Oh, then he gets hit by Kirk. McRae tries to walk out with the empty net. Nice job there by Evan Kirk. Good aggressive play there to get in the way of Dan McRae. And as a result, gives his power play one more chance here with 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, you got to know when stuff like that happens. Somebody's taking note of maybe the next time Evan Kirk steps out of the crease.
Black Wolves work it around. Buchanan with it. He passes off. There's a shot. Scores! Sean Evans from well out bounces one home, and 6-5 New England back out on top.
Chiliano got a piece of it, but not enough, as you see Evans just going 5-hole there, and Chiliano not able to get down on it fast enough. And as you mentioned, restoring a 6-5 lead, or 1-goal lead here for the Black Wolves. Got the first goal of the game, had been trailing since.
And that's a part of a 3-goal run now, I think, for the Black Wolves, and shots on goal now 27-15 as the floor has really tilted to the Roughnecks' end for the bulk of this second quarter here, and as a result, New England back out on top here by 1, and with possession as well. It's Culp with it. Culp now looking for a bit of a step, can't find it. Good defense there by the Roughnecks. There's a shot on Chiliano, makes the save, and then sits on it.
Yeah, had to fall back on it as it was just about through him, and it looks like we've got a timeout on the floor.
6-5, New England out on top. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com. The Black Wolves on top of the Calgary Roughnecks here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome on the strength of a 3-1 second quarter in their favor so far. The Roughnecks, though, with possession back here and a chance to tie things up once again. As the play is whistled in, Curtis Dixon will step over center with the ball. And now will look to pass off and does so to Dane Doby. Doby on that left side with Jeff Shadler, who tries to find a soft spot in the defense. Doby, one hand on the stick, somehow gets it over to the other side. There's a shot wide of the net, and that'll give the Black Wolves a chance to push it down the floor here. Searle plays it ahead, nice take there, but Calgary does a nice job of getting back on defense very quickly to seal off Sheldon Burns before he could drive to the net. Wolves, though, will get possession here, leading by 1, 6-5. Here comes a shot. Chiliano punches that one out, making the save on Kevin Buchanan. Now Berg has it. Berg has Dixon ahead. Dixon now one-on-one, finds a man. Catoni takes a shot, and a big save there by Evan Kirk off a beautiful feed from Curtis Dixon to Holden Catoni.
Yeah, it was a nice save there from Chiliano to punch it all the way to center, as it was Wes Berg and Curtis Dixon trapped in the back on D.
Now Berg with the ball again, has Riley Lowen out there. Lowen back to Berg. Berg takes the shot, easy save there by Evan Kirk. And now it's played ahead to Kevin Buchanan, who didn't get off the floor this time. Breakaway opportunity doesn't develop as the ball jumped out of the stick of the Black Wolf, who was in tight there. And now Wild comes down the floor for the Roughnecks. He'll pass off to Dane Doby with 6:34 to go here in the second quarter. 6-5, New England with the lead. Here's Digby with it. Digby passes, a submarine shot there by Dane Doby. Save made by Kirk, and then he tries to find a breaking man, Sheldon Burns. Just got it ahead of him, though, and that allows Calgary to come back right away. As Scott Carnegie hustled back to recover that ball. Gives it to Riley Lowen. Lowen now to Shatler. Shatler dancing. Turned aside. Good defense there. Now here's Berg with it. Berg will try his luck. Pulls up around one defender. Try to go up high, find that corner. Puts it over the net. And now there's a behind the back chance. And Kirk makes the save. Player in the crease. And I think Digby felt he was maybe given a little bit of punishment there. Nonetheless, No call coming, and as a result, Kyle Buchanan has it now for the Black Wolves. And O'Connor and Buchanan both pretending they had the ball there. They fooled me. It was O'Connor that had it. Evans now with it. Evans tries his luck from a tough angle. Save made by Chiliano. And now in transition, here's Mike Carnegie with all sorts of space ahead of the play. Mike Carnegie takes the shot, save, rebound is there, and it's chopped wide of the net by Carnegie.
Yeah, Carnegie ended up stepping in the crease on that second opportunity, but a nice shot there from 16.
Mike Carnegie looking for his first goal in the last couple seasons, as he was held off the score sheet last year, and if memory serves, hasn't tickled the twine this year either. And now the Black Wolves go back to work offensively. Turn it over, though. Garrett McIntosh does a nice job of stepping in the way of that pass. Eventually, Tyler Burton has it. Burton has Doby in there, puts it off the bar. Dane Doby on the breakaway goes post. A penalty upcoming to the Black Wolves. So Calgary will put Chiliano on the bench here and work at 6-on-5 with 4.5 minutes to go here. Dixon now to Riley Lowen. Lowen back to Dixon. Dixon now winds, passes, Shatler takes a shot, and Kirk makes the save. Ball rolled through him along the line, and as the Black Wolves touch it, we'll get the penalty call in Calgary to the power play when we return. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Come on now. Want a little heat? Yeah. Here we go. On 3. Boom. Drop it. Up, 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 up.
If you're a player looking for a lightweight head that delivers power and control, string up the Under Armour Command Low.
The New England Black Wolves with a 1-goal lead here tonight in Calgary, with the Roughnecks now to the power play as Hodeling's in the box with a 2-minute minor. Calgary's power play 54.7% on the year. The penalty kill for New England 53.6. Calgary got plenty of practice last night against the Saskatchewan Rush and made good on 6 of 9. So the power play was humming along last evening. This is their first power play of this game as they now go to work. Berg now and Doby go back and forth. Doby has it now, back to Berg up high. Berg takes the shot right into the chest of Evan Kirk. No trouble there for him. And now he looks to send it down the floor quickly, but Sheldon Burns had a hard time gathering that one in. Eventually does recover it, and will give his team a chance to kill 30 seconds of the 1:38 remaining in that penalty to Ryan Hodeling. As they'll work it shorthanded. This is Buchanan, Kevin Buchanan, now with a bit of a step. Now behind the net with 3 on the shot clock, he will likely just leave it there and does. And that'll give the Roughnecks a chance to go back to work on the power play. Dixon steps over center. Dane Doby, 14 power play goals on the year, so he is the main trigger man on the power play for the Roughnecks. Passes to Dixon, behind the back to Berg, back up high to Dixon. Dixon now to Doby, takes the shot up high on Kirk, makes the shoulder save. And the Black Wolves find the rebound and played ahead again for Sheldon Burns, who's been trying to get behind the defense. This time Curtis Dixon does a nice job of coming back and finding the ball. And now he'll run back over center as he's logging some miles on this shift.
He's been the first man back and carrying the ball up the floor a couple times now.
Has it. Pass to Schattler. Schattler now up high to Dixon. Dixon takes a shot off a couple sticks, and Kirk just calmly looks it into his stick. Plays it ahead to Searle. Searle now looking up. Has a man ahead of the play now with just 15 seconds to go on the power play. That should pretty much do it for the Roughnecks man advantage here. Score 6-5 with 2.5 to go here in the first half. New England on top by that single goal. O'Connor has it now. As we are back to 5-on-5 play here. The Roughnecks will go 0 for 1 on that power play. There's a shot off the post as it bounced through Chiliano, but not past the post. And as a result, score remains 6-5. Bell can't carry it cleanly over center. Runs through a couple defenders right near his own bench. Bit of a hot potato, still has it though, and then throws it away. And finally, the Roughnecks aren't happy about something. Specifically, Dane Doby is not happy about something.
Well, they're calling both teams for an illegal substitution. Too many men here.
That's exactly what the call is. Dane Doby hot under the collar about that. But the offsetting minors.
The argument that Dane Doby's trying to make is that they were within the substitution zone and there were players behind them that were also in the substitution zone.
Well, it was just mass confusion over there, in part because of where Bell ended up and where the ball ended up. And nonetheless, we'll keep things even Steven here. Well, actually, there's nobody in the
There
box.
we go.
Oh, now he's coming over.
The in-home player maybe wasn't aware that he was the in-home player. Of course, in lacrosse, one player designated before the game to serve all bench penalties.
And that man is Ryan Hodeling for the Black Wolves and Garrett McIntosh for the Calgary Roughnecks. So they will take the 2 for their teams. There's a shot off the post by Dixon. Just about a minute after the Black Wolves put one off the bar. So score remains 6-5. Calgary retains possession here. Dane Doby passes to Riley Lowen. Lowen now, a couple little moves. Runs into his own man as he hit Digby in the back, and that's a big man to hit. Digby can't handle it. Oh, scores! Somehow Tyler Digby finds the ball and puts it home. 6-6 on an incredible effort by the big man.
Well, it's interesting, when Tyler Digby came to Calgary, you thought the best attribute about him was his size. But bar none, the best thing about Tyler Digby is his hands. Yeah. The guy's got one of the softest set of hands around. As you can see, he just scoops up the loose ball and fires it in while in midair there as it was headed towards the crease. Tyler Digby takes a bad situation and turns it into goal, ties the game at 6.
20th goal of the season for number 23, Tyler Digby. And as a result, the game tied 6-6. We have seen some crazy goals in this one. Pretty goals, but I would call them unorthodox. And that one certainly applies there. Berg now passes off. Berg now, pardon me, that's Schattler to Dixon. Dixon authored one of those goals. Dixon to the net. Oh, scores! It bounced in and out of the net. At least that's what the official's saying. That would be the hat trick for Curtis Dixon. And again, no challenge can be made here by the Black Wolves. I want to see a replay on that one too, Ryan, because that did not look into me, but the official in perfect position.
Well, it must have just bounced in the line and bounced out, but I mean, Curtis Dixon doing it all right there as he dives across the crease and comes back across the body of Evan Kirk to dump it in the bottom of the net. 39 goals in his 14th game of the season for Curtis Dixon as he makes a bid to become the first ever player to go back-to-back 60s.
That was a little bit of, no, Tyler, I'll show you how you do this. This is how you'd be Superman out there. As crazy goals by Digby and now Dixon. And Calgary out on top here, 7-6 with now 32 seconds to go in the half. Dixon out near center will just fire it in the corner with just 1 second on the shot clock. And now New England will put Kirk on the bench here and try and go 6-on-5. Well, they will go 6-on-5 and try and get a tying goal here as they have 20 seconds to work with. Shot clock is off here, so they will hold for the final opportunity. Buchanan has it right now. Kevin Buchanan He'll pass off to the other side, and they'll work it from there. Evans with it. Evans past the crease area, doesn't work. Chiliano jumps on it. It's going to try his luck at the empty net. It's behind. It's after the time would have expired. Nice shot, though.
It does go in the net. The referee, as you see, waves it off, but Chiliano getting a nice ovation from the crowd nonetheless.
7-6 New England trailing Calgary at halftime. We'll be back with second half action. In the meantime, stay tuned for the halftime show here on NLLTV.com.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears, you name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check, and the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds, we lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Hewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports, and for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season. It's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
Eight seasons as the captain of the Calgary Roughnecks, helping the team win 2 Champions Cups during that time. This Saturday, he will become the second member to join the Forever Roughnecks Club as his number 17 is raised to the rafters.
Possession, left side of the line, here's Koloski, moves middle, then feeds a little deeper in, a floater gets by that pitch, they score!
He will hoist that cup above his head, and there you go!
He was the kind of guy that never wanted to lose, and I think he was one of those guys that would do anything.
Warrior, absolute warrior. Later in his career, some guys say, well, you know what, you kind of take a step back. He never did. He contributed from the offensive end from the time he broke into the league and the time he finished. And, that's an old school warrior in my books.
This Saturday, one of the greatest players to ever put on a Roughnecks jersey will see his number 17 raised to the rafters.
What an honor it is to be recognized by the Roughnecks. I spent 8 years out there. Was fortunate enough to win 2 championships with that team and that organization. But I always consider myself as a Roughneck, and to kind of get that honor from that organization, it truly means the world to me.
5-time All-Star Tracy Koloski spent 8 seasons with the Roughnecks, all 8 of them with the C on his jersey. And on a team full of leaders, it was his heart that earned him the title.
He doesn't need to score the 3 goals. He'll do whatever it takes. So he'll fill up the water bottles. He'll go shag balls at practice. He's just all about the team. And when you see somebody like that, you can't help but follow that. And I think that's what makes him special.
He led the team on the floor to a Champions Cup in 2004 and 2009, but he also led off the floor. helping grow the game of box lacrosse at a grassroots level in Calgary.
Trishy was always available. He taught kids. He worked in the school program. So he touched a lot of lacrosse players through just as an individual, and I think he probably encouraged people just by his play to pick up a stick and try the sport.
Koleski becomes the second player to join the Forever Roughnecks club. The first, his good friend and former teammate Caleb Toth. Koleski knows Saturday will be a special moment as he gets to share this honor with fans, friends, and family.
Just my dad smiling down, to me is it's pretty awesome, because he was my biggest fan. Here I'm getting a little bit choked up again about it, but that to me is the most special, right? And I know how proud my son is of me, and I think that's it's almost, twofold in the sense that, that's how I looked up to my dad, and I'm hoping my guy's doing the same to me with, getting these awesome honors. So in that regard, it means the world to me, knowing that my boy gets to witness it and see that.
Who once watched him battle in the rafters will now see his name raised to the rafters forever. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era, a new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original four arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia, converged to create the NLL Star, a modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
Yes, time now for my box boss. It's kind of difficult to pick just 3 players from this week. A lot of players having some very great performances, but I've got to do it. There's room for just 3. I'm going to start with Kyle Jackson from the Rochester Nighthawks. 5 goals, 2 assists for Jackson in the loss to the Black Wolves, including a nifty one-handed underhand shot that beat Evan Kirk. This kid's had flashes of brilliance all season long, and I think the development of this player will continue for years to come. He's also going to be a player to keep a close eye on for the remainder of the season. Number 2, I've got Mitch Jones from the Buffalo Bandits. Jones had a pair of goals and 4 assists in the game against the Stealth, good enough to be named the game's first star. One of the goals was an absolute beauty as well. Jones has had a number of highlight reel markers this season. He's been fun to watch, and a player that the Bandits have been able to count on night in and night out. And at number 1, this player is certainly no stranger to box bosses. He's been named number 1 a couple of times. Callum Crawford from the Colorado Mammoth. Another great game for Callum against the Rock on Friday night. 3 goals, 3 assists. Now, just like Jones, Crawford has been extremely fun to watch this season. He's a leader for this team and makes that right side deadly for the Mammoth. If this team wants a big postseason run, Crawford's going to need to be an integral part of it.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go. Here we go.
So double down, double up.
Come on now. Want a little heat? Yeah. Here we go. On 3. Boom. Drop it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle, where we take a look at the top stories happening around the league on social media this week. And let me tell you, this week's games are jam-packed with fun and excitement that you're not going to want to miss. It all starts off with 2 worlds colliding. The WWE and the NLL will be collaborating this week, all for a good cause. WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart will be co-hosting Russia's Lacrosse Out bullying event. He'll be part of the halftime show on March 24th. You're not going to want to miss the action. There will also be special Bret Hart Rush t-shirts with proceeds going to the anti-bullying program in Saskatchewan. This week also marks Military Appreciation Night in Rochester. All members of the military and vets will receive a complimentary ticket to the game as they take on the Buffalo Bandits. Both teams will be wearing really awesome military-inspired jerseys that will be auctioned off after the game, with proceeds going to the Veterans Outreach Program. And speaking of the Nighthawks, it looks like they have fans all around the world. Just take a look at this picture from Walter May all the way in Thailand. You're going to want to make sure you got your country boots and hat on for the Georgia Swarm game this week when they take on the Toronto Rock, because John Driscoll Hopkins from the Zach Brown Band will be performing a special show after the game. And don't forget that this week, Tracy Koleski will be joining the Forever Roughnecks Club when the Calgary Roughnecks take on the New England Black Wolves. Also, fans, don't forget our Twitter game of the week is taking place Saturday night as the Colorado Mammoth welcome the Saskatchewan Rush to town. Of course, you can catch that game live on Twitter starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's all from this week's NLL Social Circle. If you want a chance to be featured right here, just make sure you're tagging the NLL in all of your social media posts. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
7-6, the Calgary Roughnecks with a 1-goal lead over the New England Black Wolves here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome as we get set for the second half here, and a tight one here, a 1-goal affair, and I guess, Ryan, that should not be of surprise.
No, 6 1-goal games out of the 12 played so far for the New England Black Wolves on the season. Their record in those games is 4-2, so the Roughnecks are going to want to make sure that they maybe put a couple extra on the board here in the second half and keep it from being a tight game, as the Black Wolves have done a good job of winning those tight games so far this season.
Offensive leaders for that first half, Sean Evans with a very Sean Evans-esque half of lacrosse, 2-2 for 4 points. That was matched by Curtis Dixon, also 4 points on the strength of a hat trick and 1 helper. Those are your offensive leaders as we get set for the second half. The face-off battle pretty even, Steven, as Jay Thornbord rather, 8 of 15 with a slight edge over a combination of Tyler Burton and Mitch Wild, who has been taking some face-offs since being acquired by the Roughnecks about a month ago. And particularly now with Bob Snyder moving to the practice roster, we might see more of Mitch Wild on the face-off dot. But right now, to start the second half, it will be Tyler Burton versus Jay Thornbord. For some high fives at the bench for the youngster who delivered the ball.
Just want to touch again on those jerseys available for auction. All the numbers 17 Koluski on the back with the player's own number on the sleeve. Those available at elevateauctions.com. And of course, they benefit the Tucker Williams Braver Than Brave Memorial Fund for pediatric lymphoma research. A good cause, a great cause, in fact. And make sure you get out there and get your player's favorite jersey. The bid starting at just $200, and that auction is now open, carries through until April 2nd.
Didn't like how that first draw was done, so the officials do it again. And this time, Tyler Burton looks like he has a chance to come up with a big scramble for it. In fact, everyone's in there to take a look, poking and prodding. And still no definitive winner here. Now they're going to do it over by the Wolves bench. And whoa, into the bench goes a member of the Roughnecks. Dan McRae tries a shot well wide. As, I think that was Mitch Wild that took a spill and right into the bench of the New England Black Wolves. Don't see that very often in lacrosse.
No, not often you see a guy get dumped into a bench. Also, not a penalty for having too many men in your bench.
So now the Black Wolves will go back to work offensively. This is Crowley with it. He draws attention from Harnett, and then the pass across the other side is juggled there by Kevin Buchanan. Eventually does pick it up, and now Evans has it. Evans pulls up, spins off the defender, taking all sorts of whacks from Scott Carnegie. And Crowley tries to bounce it back to Evans, and nothing doing on that offensive possession as a scrambly set there for the Black Wolves. And as a result, a 30-second violation gives the Roughnecks the ball back. Here's Holden Katoni now, stepping into the offensive end. Now played up high to Dixon. Dixon passes to Berg, to Digby, who can't handle it, and it bounces all the way to Evan Kirk. And he now looks to move it down the floor here as we're early in the second half. 7-6 Calgary with a 1-goal lead here. Bucktooth with it for the Black Wolves. Will pass off, and here's Oakes. Had a goal in that first half. Bit of a spill there, and no surprise, that illegal pick will give Calgary the ball back.
Yeah, Dan McRae went down hard after colliding with Bucktooth.
Bell hands off here to Riley Lowen, who had 3 helpers in that half, as his offensive game has started to come together here in the second half of the season. Put a shot on net there, and Evan Kirk makes the save, and now back come the Black Wolves in transition. That pass doesn't work. Now a battle in the corner for it. Cummings in there. He's joined by some teammates. And eventually it is the Roughnecks that come out with it. Jeff Schattler, one of the team leaders in loose balls, walks out of that pile with it. And now tries a swim move, spins off his man, pass over to the other side now. Curtis Dixon will slow things down. 10 to shoot for Berg. Back to Dixon. Dixon now is going to have to do something quickly here. Spins off the defender. Now nice pass to Berg. Takes the shot, bounce shot. Took a little something off of that. Kirk handles it though. And now plays it down the floor. 2-on-1 developing here for Evans. Takes the shot off the defender though. Dan McRae again, who's had a bit of a punishing first few minutes here of the second half. Standing in front of that shot by Evans. Black Wolves eventually turn it back over and come down the floor here. Evans stayed out there, so has the ball now. Now he'll swing it across the other side. There's the shot. Wide. Comes all the way back near center. Gathered in there nicely by Wild. Wild has a break. Wild in there. And as he went to take the shot, was checked. No call. As he looked at the official to plead his case. None coming though. And now the Black Wolves come down the floor. There's a shot through Chiliano out the other side. And off the netting, the Wolves will retain possession here. Still looking for the first goal here of the second half. 7-6, Calgary continues to lead. Shots on goal starting to be more even here. 32-29. The Black Wolves with a thin edge there. It's Evans behind the net. Very dangerous, tries to stuff it in, missed the net, and put it to the corner instead. And now a battle near the boards. And official takes a bit of a nudge there, unintentionally of course.
Yeah, Evans just off balance back into the official. The official catching the diminutive forward.
Curtis Dixon now taking some whacks. Tries to run by the defender, now tries to cut to the net. Sealed off nicely though. Now passes to Doby, scores! Dane Doby makes it 8-6 Calgary.
A nice job by Curtis Dixon collapsing to the net. It drew the defense in and down low to look for a rebound, which left Dane Doby wide open in that high slot area. And you can see he just had just enough time to get the shot away before the defender got to him. And Dane Doby celebrates as he does with a fist pump as he gets his goal to make it a 2-goal lead here, 8-6. 11 minutes to play in quarter number 3.
32nd goal of the season for Dane Doby, as he had 4 last night in Saskatchewan. Now it's New England looking for the answer. 2-goal lead matches the biggest lead the Roughnecks have had in this one. No one's been able to really get away from each other as it's been tight the whole night. And now it will be the Black Wolves looking for an answer after that Dane Doby goal. There comes the shot. Chiliano struggles with it, but makes the save. It kind of rolled up his shoulder, but he keeps it out.
Yeah, over and back is going to be the call here, though. New England's going to get the ball back as it just squeaked out of the crease.
Crowley has it. Now he'll pass off, and they'll work it from that far side. Wild on the defense there. On O'Connor. O'Connor now passes to Crowley, who can't handle it. Turned over by the Roughnecks. And now off to the races is Cummings. Cummings has all sorts of floor ahead of him. Defense gets back nicely though, and Calgary's going to hang on to it here and wait for the offense to get on the floor. Schattler has Dixon out there already. Dixon now with the ball back to Schattler. Schattler has Catoni on that side with him, but instead is going to come to the other side. And Wes Berg now passes to Schattler with 8 to shoot. Now here's Berg, scores! Wesley Berg on some hot ball movement. And it's 9-6 Calgary. First time tonight the Roughnecks have been up by 3.
Yeah, what a nice passing play this is as Wes Berg goes across to Schattler, who comes back across, and they find Wes Berg down low. What a play there by the sophomore to get free. A nice flip pass from Tyler Digby over a defender, and Berg is able to dump it home, make it 9-6. With 9:30 to play, or 9:45 to play rather. A nice play there from Wes Berg.
Number 24 on the season for the sophomore. Now a penalty coming up to the Calgary Roughnecks. So Kirk will go to the bench here, and the Black Wolves will have a chance here to get some momentum back here as they will work the 6-on-5 on the delayed penalty call. Here's Evans now with it. Evans looking to throw it into the high crease area. And as Calgary intercepts that, we'll get the call, and New England will go to the power play. When we return, 9-6, the Roughnecks on top. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Scott Carnegie to the penalty box for the Calgary Roughnecks. New England to the power play here. That power play has been good tonight, 2 for 3 so far this evening. I have a chance to get a goal here as they're down by 3, 9-6 to the Calgary Roughnecks, but now going to the 6-on-5. Here's Evans with it. Evans, pass off, there's a shot. Chiliano fights that one off, ball to the corner, recovered there by the Black Wolves, so they'll get a fresh 30 on the power play. Now here's Crowley, gets it from Evans, back to Evans now. He takes a shot, Chiliano makes another save and then recovers the rebound. Now looking down the floor for Curtis Dixon, one-on-one, muscles through the man. Curtis Dixon tries to stuff it in high and puts it over the net. You can see Dixon's eyes get wide there as he found himself all alone on a one-on-one. And I would dare say, Ryan, there's no more dangerous player. Now Dixon creates a turnover down there all alone. And that's great work there on the penalty kill by number 17, Curtis Dixon.
Well, you say no better player one-on-one. He was one-on-two there, still created the turnover, got the ball back for his team, and get to kill a little more of that penalty to Scott Carnegie.
Now here's Westberg working shorthanded, cutting to the net and stepped in the crease. And that'll give the Black Wolves the ball back here with 51 seconds to go. Evans races down the floor, now stops and looks at his options. He has Buchanan with him, goes to Oakes instead up high. Oakes then passes off. Now here's Buchanan behind the back and scores. Oh my, Kyle Buchanan with a beauty. And it's 9-7 as the Black Wolves cash in on the power play again.
Yeah, later this week when you see a whole bunch of goals from one game, it's not that there were few games this week, it's how great the goals have been in this game. Buchanan going around the world and finding the bottom corner on Frank Chiliano to bring the Black Wolves back within 1.
So 9-8 the score here, as Calgary turns it over. And now here's Buchanan again, one-on-one. Can't take the ball with him, can't take his stick with him either. And Calgary gets it back.
Nice work from Cummings there to take the ball away, protect that 1-goal lead.
Now the Roughnecks go back to work offensively. Here's Curtis Dixon, and correction, Ryan, it's 9-7 actually the score. They put it on the scoreboard here as 9-8, and that's what got you and I all confused.
Yeah, apologies.
I'm really bad at math, but I didn't think I was that bad. But indeed, the score is 9-7, and now New England will go to the penalty box rather, and Calgary will go to the power play.
Oh, it's such a nice goal. They gave him 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's a goal that was worth 2, that would be it. Maybe that was the reason. Nonetheless, it's 9-7, and now Calgary's power play, which is 0 for 1, has a chance to get things going here tonight. As Berg will take the ball from the official. Berg out there with Dixon. Now it goes to the other side to Dane Dobie. Again, who leads this team in power play goals. Dobie has it again, tries a shot. Nice save there by Evan Kirk. Up with it quickly, looking down the floor. Now here's Burns ahead of the play. Burns pulls up, takes the shot. Chiliano makes the save. And then Greg Harnett comes over to take the ball back. Not sure if that was a good decision there by Burns. An opportunity to kill more time. Instead, the Roughnecks still have 90 seconds to go on this power play. Dobie has it now with 18 to shoot. Has Berg with him and gives him the ball. Berg playing up high. Now they'll move things around. Dixon now trying to go back to Digby. Intercepted nicely there. Who else? Sean Evans. Such great instincts for the game, and now he springs a man. There's a shot, scores! Zach Reed, shorthanded, off a beautiful piece of work. Pardon me, that was Searle with doing all that. And as a result, it's 9-8.
Yeah, nice move from Searle just to stick check the ball away from Curtis Dixon, and Reed comes down and makes no mistake on that transition opportunity for the shorthanded goal. Now 9-8 in favor of the Roughnecks as they try and look to increase the lead here on the power play.
And special teams has been the difference in this game, or at least has allowed the game to stay close. As New England has 3 power play goals. You can add a shorty to the mix too. Calgary has yet to cash in on the power play and have now given up that shorthanded tally. And New England gets the ball off the faceoff as well with 57 seconds to go on that power play for Calgary. The Black Wolves have a chance here to wind that down to about 30 seconds as they look for more on the shorthanded tally, as well as that shot by Kevin Buchanan is stopped by Chiliano, and now Calgary goes back to work here with 40 seconds to go on the 5-on-4. Dixon walks it over the line slowly. Now passes off to Shatler. Shatler finds Digby, and a nice save there by Evan Kirk. Fresh 30 for the Roughnecks on the power play with 22 seconds to go on it. Now here's Dobie, scores! Dane Dobie on the power play. 15th power play goal of the season for him. And it's 10-8, back to a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, great shot from Dane Dobie here. There was not a lot of room in that top corner. Dane Dobie squeezing it over the shoulder here of Evan Kirk and just putting it in to get you back to a 2-goal lead. 10-8 now in favor of the Roughnecks with 5:35 to go. And Dane Dobie continuing his torrid pace. He had 4 last night, and he's got a pair here tonight.
Got a lot of attention on Curtis Dixon for his goal scoring this season, but Dane Dobie has 33 himself, as the Roughnecks have 2 30-goal men already, and Dane Dobie is enjoying probably his healthiest season in some time, really putting together one of his best campaigns, and that is great to see. And as a result, Calgary, on the strength of that 33rd goal with the 2-goal lead here, 10-8, and now looking for more as Berg has it. Berg passes off to Dixon, who now has Riley Lowen off the bench. Lowen to Katoni. Katoni now plays it down low, and now back to Lowen, tried to go up high, and just put it over the crossbar there. And again, Lowen has looked more dangerous the last few weeks for the Roughnecks, giving them some valuable secondary scoring.
Yeah, it seems like he's gotten a lot more comfortable in the offense.
And now here is Hodeling for the Black Wolves. He has a man off the bench, and now Evans with it. Evans now with a bit of room, fakes the shot. Evans now checked nicely to the ground by Burton, who gives him a little extra attention. And Greg Harnett has the ball at center. He'll flip it to Jeff Shatler now with 19 to shoot. And 4:23 to go here in the third quarter. 10-8, Calgary still leading by 2. Here's Berg with it. Berg now to Dixon. Dixon gets a pick from Digby, tries a shot, chest save made, rebound off the post, rebound to Katoni, scores! Holden Katoni cashes in the third chance, 11-8 Calgary.
Yeah, nice work there from the rookie, right in the right spot at the right time. As Curtis Dixon's shot was stopped, Wes Berg had the post, kick it right back into the center of the floor, and then Holden Katoni was right there, and credit Wes Berg for getting out of the crease quickly too, because as the ball came to Catoni, Berg had to clear to make sure that goal would count, and he does. And as a result, the Roughnecks restore their 3-goal lead, make it 11-8.
And Calgary's offense have really come alive here in the third quarter as they now lead this one 11-8, now trailing on shots just 39-38. Now here's another opportunity, big save there by Kirk as Tyson Bell tried his luck. Bell not afraid to put one on net every once in a while and has shown that he does have the ability to score some goals. Now here's Buchanan. Buchanan passes off to Evans. Evans comes across the other side. Now, tough take there. Eventually comes to Crowley. He's got Evans asking for it, so he gives him the ball. Evans now passes to the net. And just as he was about to try and stuff it in, I think Dan McRae got stick on stick there. And with the score 11-8, 3.5 minutes to go, we have a timeout on the floor. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com. Calgary Roughnecks with a 3-goal lead over the New England Black Wolves here tonight in Calgary. Ryan, what else is happening around the NLL?
Well, the Calgary Roughnecks got a little bit of help from the Toronto Rock tonight as they downed the Vancouver Stealth 13-7. It was 11-10 Rochester beating Buffalo, and currently underway in Saskatchewan as the Colorado Mammoth and Saskatchewan playing at 10-10 at the end of the third quarter.
Calgary Roughnecks with possession here. Riley Lowen flashes on the quick stick. Now into the corner, bodied into the corner there nicely by Derek Suttons. Ball up for grabs, and it is the Black Wolves that come out of the pile with it. And now we'll push the action down the floor with under 3 minutes to go. Ball bounces into the Roughneck bench, and that'll give the Riggers possession back.
Yeah, holding Catoni with the stick there to knock it out of the basket of Searle.
Riley Lowen with it now. Lowen passes to Digby. Digby down to the corner. Now Berg comes to Lowen. And now a bounce try there by Curtis Dixon, handled by Evan Kirk. Digby in a fight down the corner. Dixon comes over and gets it. Dixon puts the brakes on, didn't take the ball with him though. And as a result, New England turns it over here with 2.5 to go. And they're down by 3, 11-8 here, which matches the largest lead of the evening for the Roughnecks. Now Crowley tries a shot. That hit something, and then still got to Chiliano, who had to be sharp to keep an eye on that one. Now Wild in transition has it for the Roughnecks. Plays it to Greg Harnett. Harnett now will head to the bench, but before doing so, gives it to Wes Berg. Now Wes Berg down the far side. Berg now plays it to Doby, and Doby now will come to Shatler. Shatler, nice pass to the other side, scores! Wes Berg, hat-trick goal, 12-8. The Roughnecks up by 4 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, the youngster doing it all here. Wes Berg just fires a rocket past the shoulder of Evan Kirk, who's going to head to the bench temporarily and get a look over his equipment. That one just right over that top shoulder into the top corner. A great feed over to Berg, who winds and fires and makes it 12-8 in favor of the Calgary Roughnecks. Looks like we got a goaltender change here as well.
Doug Jabenson's going to come in for at least some time here. 0-1 on the season. Good numbers beside that, though, including save percentage of over 80% well, just shy of 83%. Hasn't played a lot, but he's going to get a taste of some action here. We'll see how long this lasts. We're used in Calgary to seeing very quick goaltending changes by Kurt Molosky, who will put Chiliano on the bench sometimes for literally 5 seconds.
Well, it looks like Evan Kirk's got a bunch of his equipment off, so not sure that he will be coming into the game anytime soon.
Roughnecks will try and give him an early look. There's Dixon, goes off the post. Rebound to Digby. Other side to Lowen, who puts it wide of the yawning cage. Digby tries to save it, can't, and that'll be over and back for the Roughnecks.
Digby getting a lot of fist pumps from his teammates there after making the diving attempt to stop the over and back.
So now the Black Wolves, with under 90 seconds to go in the quarter, looking to get some momentum back here as they're down by 4 for the first time, and that pass to Oakes goes awry, and Dan McRae is going to try and track that one down. If he does, he'll have a breakaway. McRae scoops it up, pulls up, has help off the bench, including Holden Katoni, who takes a bit of a hit and then goes to the corner and now gives it to Jeff Shatler. Under 60 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Roughnecks would like to get one more here to extend that lead to 5. Curtis Dixon has it. Dixon now to Berg, takes a shot. There's Jamieson with the save, doesn't know where it is, and almost rolled to Katoni, who would have had a completely empty net. Instead, he gets the loose ball, and Calgary gets the fresh 30.
Nice work by the rookie there to get in there, secure the loose ball, and get that possession with just 27 seconds to go in the quarter. Got an 8-second differential with the shot clock.
And Dane Doby is just going to walk it back and wind as much time down as possible. And now he'll send it all the way down into the corner. And now here's Berg, tries to drive the net. Oh, what a move there. Can't stuff it in. And now the Black Wolves with 5 seconds will push it down the floor. Partial breakaway opportunity. And then coming back, Shatler on the back check prevents that opportunity. And time expires on the third quarter. Calgary with a 12-8 lead. And Jeff Shatler, who has done that for years here in Calgary, showing the hustle on the D. And we're going to send you down to the floor here momentarily, where Andrew McBride is going to have a quick conversation with Curtis Dixon, who has a hat trick in this game so far.
I'm here with Curtis Dixon. Curtis, when the offense moves the ball, moves your feet, and creates space, good things happen. How do you be accountable as an offense and continue this for the rest of the game?
We just got to keep doing what we're doing. You know, that's a good defense back there, and as long as we get, shuffle the deck, keep our guys getting through, like you said, that's when we're finding our openings and getting our good looks. And that's been the difference so far. We got to keep it up coming in the fourth quarter here.
Swagger, confidence, communication, looks almost the best so far it has this season. As a group, how do you maintain that?
This is do or die. This is playoffs for us now. We know we got to win out here, fighting for our playoff lives. So that's just kind of in the back of our head, and got to keep doing what we're doing.
12-8 for the Roughnecks going into the fourth quarter. Make some noise, fans. Let's fire it up.
12-8 indeed the score heading into the fourth and final quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
If you're a player looking for a lightweight head that delivers power and control, string up the Under Armour Command Low.
got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
4-goal lead into the fourth quarter here as the Black Wolves will look to try and climb back into this one. They get the first face-off win of the quarter. That'll help things out as they look for a quick goal here. Put some pressure on the Roughnecks. That shot goes wide of the net though, and to the corner now, and it'll be Calgary possession. McIntosh with it, bounces it over to the other side, into the stick of Curtis Dixon. Pardon me, that's Jeff Shattler. Shattler now, passes off. There's a shot in on Doug Jamieson, who remains in net for New England, in relief of Evan Kirk, who I don't really know you could fault much in this game, Ryan.
No, several of the Roughnecks goals were of a spectacular variety, but you are down 4 headed into the fourth quarter. Maybe a time to get your starter a little bit of rest. I can't figure out, like you said, it's not as though Evan Kirk had much to blame, although the last two just straight over the shoulder from
good
Dane
point.
Dobie and Westberg. Ooh.
There's a 30-second violation off the bean of Greg Harnett. He's up quickly though, which is good to see. And now here's Scott Carnegie stepping over and passing off the ball as he entered the New England end. Westberg, hat trick tonight, passes off to Dane Dobie, and now Dobie to Riley Lowen. Lowen now to Dixon with 12 to shoot. Plays it down low to Dobie, who you don't see on this side of the floor very often. So he's going to go back to where he belongs on that side. Dobie now spins, fires, and a glove goes flying. That was Riley Lowen's glove that somehow came loose.
Pointing to the official as if to suggest I didn't throw it there.
Now the Black Wolves go back to work offensively. Again, they're down by 4 here. Crowley has it. Mike Carnegie all over him. So he eventually passes off to Buchanan. Now quick pass to the slot area, doesn't work. And now here come the Roughnecks in transition. Here's Bell. Bell all the way, takes the shot, scores! Tyson Bell, coast to coast. 13-8 Calgary.
Boy, there's some body language from Tyson Bell there as he came down and kept looking and eyeballing the defender on his way by before eventually going down low on Jamieson and putting it home. Tyson Bell makes it a 5-goal lead for the Roughnecks. And that, as you mentioned, no stranger to the offense is that transition player with his 8th goal of the season.
Yeah, I love the way he plays the game. Not afraid to take chances, not afraid to play aggressive, whether it's the physical nature or turning on the afterburners like he did there. And he has given his team a 5-goal cushion here. It comes with about 12.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Now Evans with it for New England. Or pardon me, that's Veltman with it, the other former Roughneck. And now here's an opportunity. Oh, all alone on top of the crease was Crowley. Never got the shot off, and there's a member of the Roughnecks down on the floor. I did not see what happened there. Again, it's Harnett.
Yeah,
Harnett, who's had a rough night.
And he's been grabbing his ankle. Not sure what happened to him there, but threw off his gloves, threw off his stick, and has been rolling in pain, grabbing at his ankle. Obviously not good for Greg Harnett. Had a 5-game suspension earlier in the year.
Yeah, just has had a terrible season on all fronts. I mean, I'm not to say his play has been bad, but the suspension, and then he sees his brother John Harnett released by the Roughnecks earlier this week, and we'll get a replay here.
Try and see what can happen. Oh. You saw the ankle roll over there at the end of that replay, and one can hope for Greg Harnett that this isn't a long-term injury. The Roughnecks can only hope that this isn't a long-term injury.
He's not putting any weight on it as he gets help off the bench. He is not stepping on it at Oh, well.
As he must have heard you.
Yeah.
Put his foot down. But Greg Harnett, just about as tough as they come. And again, it can be one of those situations where it's, I certainly wouldn't expect to see him back tonight, especially given the score. But hopefully it's something that, while he can't necessarily walk it off per se, it's something that doesn't persist past this weekend. And hopefully we'll see Greg Harnett, who's now walking off without help. So hopefully he's able to get back on the floor sooner rather than later.
Nonetheless, Calgary possession here after all that. 13-8, they continue to lead here with 12-10 to go here in the final quarter. And Curtis Dixon has it. Dixon gets a pick from Berg, passes off. There's a shot wide, might have hit a stick of a defender there. Berg in a battle near the wall. However, it's Hodeling who comes away with it. Hodeling has help with him. And Calgary turns it back over there again. Jeff Shatler on the back check. Dixon now falling from his rear end, tries to put the shot on net. Why not? That guy can score from anywhere, including any body position. Now Doby has it with 15 to shoot. He's going to slow things down and direct traffic a little bit here. Lowen comes out from the bench. And now Doby cuts across, scores! Dane Doby just waits for something to develop, and it does. And it's 14-8 Calgary.
Yeah, if you give Dane Doby a path to the net, that's that clear, he is going to get to the net and put it away. Dane Doby cutting across the crease and puts it home. And a nice goal here to extend the lead to 6. And that might just about do it.
Hat-trick goal for Dane Doby as he joins Curtis Dixon, Westberg, as that trio, all with a trio of goals each. Number 34 on the season for Dane Doby. And here comes Burton. Burton has Doby again. Doby thought about cutting to the net, but then turns back. As with a 6-goal lead, Calgary probably will start working the clock here a little bit too. Pass back to Digby with 10 on the shot clock. Digby now. Digby tries to cut through defender, takes a stick up high, then puts it on net as he loses the lid. And you can see looking for the call, and I think one is coming, although the member of the Black Wolves claiming it was shoulder. Nonetheless, that's not an argument that he's going to win. And as a result, Calgary will go to the power play here.
Well, and I believe Tyler Digby might have the U-Hawk camera on tonight. It looks from here that he has that camera on, so look for that footage here later in the year.
Seth Oakes is the man in the penalty box. They call it a cross-check, and as a result, Calgary will go to the power play. That power play, 1 for 2, did give up a shorthanded tally on that same power play they scored on, so even for the night. And now we'll go to work leading by 6 and can make it 7. Dixon cuts across. Nice save there by Doug Jamieson, again, who came in late in the third quarter. And not the pass he was looking for there.
No.
Lucky that didn't go even worse. And now here's an opportunity. Shot, scores! Well, after all that, somehow the Black Wolves get the goal. And the night of strange tallies continues as Buchanan gets the goal, and Jamieson will get an assist on that for one of the worst passes that a goalie has ever made for an assist. He will get I think he'll get an assist out of that.
Should be a second assist there for Jamieson on that rainbow that went out of his stick and towards the boards, nearly out of the arena. But nevertheless, Jamieson should see an assist on there. And you know what they say, it's not how pretty they are, it's whether or not whether they count. And it counts for Jamieson there.
And Jay Thornburg nearly does the scoop and score there. And shot was wide, so 14-9 remains the tie. And it's a big goal. We shouldn't, a funny goal, but also a big one for the Black Wolves to give them a bit of hope here. Second shorthanded mark of the night. Now Berg can't handle, and off come the Black Wolves again, looking for another one. Here's Burns ahead of the play. Burns has a partial break. He's in there. Burns bounces the shot wide and comes all the way back near the restraining line and actually into the crowd. And that should be Calgary possession.
Yeah, it looks like enough time has expired that we'll get a timeout on the floor.
Comes with 9:53 to go here. Calgary up 14-9. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Last week, Jordan Durston took down Mitch Jones and became the Versus champion. Mitch Jones is back. Let's take a look at the two plays. Durston picks up the loose ball, underhand, backhand, top, corner on Alex Bouquet. And here's Mitch. You have Mitch Jones, who's back for revenge from the Buffalo Bandits. Head to Twitter now. You know what to do. Cast your vote.
If you're a player looking for a lightweight head that delivers power and control, string up the Under Armour Command Low.
Jamieson the save, and now looking to pass it off. Bucktooth swings it ahead. Nice pass from him, but a tough take. And Calgary cuts it off to turn it back over with 37 seconds to go on the power play. Berg comes all the way down the floor. Wines, fires. I think Jamieson got a piece of that one too.
Yeah, it should be a fresh 30. Fan making a nice one-handed snatch in the crowd there.
Dixon now with it. Dixon to Doby. Both those gentlemen have hat tricks tonight. Shatler now can't handle the pass, drops it. And as a result, is going to have to go to the wall to battle for it. Doby comes over to take it. With now 13 to shoot, Shatler has it again. Now to Berg. Berg with room. Berg closes in, takes the shot and puts it wide. Shatler off the end wall to Berg, scores! Wes Berg, fourth of the night, of a gorgeous pass from Jeff Shatler. 15-9 Calgary as they got the offense working.
Yeah, great awareness from Jeff Shatler here as he fakes the shot and fires it into the stick of Wes Berg, who had a yawning cage in front of him here. You can see just a gorgeous pass, and Jamieson with the desperation attempt at the save. But what a slam dunk goal there for Wes Berg off a great feed from number 77, Jeff Shatler.
Give Berg 26 on the season and give Calgary a 6-goal lead here. And that may just about do it here as they've come out here on the second of a back-to-back weekend for the Roughnecks. And we talked about early on, sometimes that helps the offense. They kind of turned things around in the second half last night against Saskatchewan, and they've kept it going here for the full game against the Black Wolves. Now here's Dixon with it. Dixon now with 5 to shoot. Will just turn, fire. Jamieson makes the save. And now it's pretty much the New England Black Wolves need to cash in every trip down here. They're going to run out of time, run out of possessions here with 8:18. But this one's not over yet. Here's Buchanan with it. Buchanan passes off far side. And now it comes back. They work it around, and there's the shot by Evans. Save made by Chiliano. Evans is going to go to the corner to try and recover it. Comes out with it, goes behind the net. Nice job there by Sean Evans to keep this possession alive. Now there's a shot. Chiliano makes the save as he stops Crowley point blank. And lost in all this, Ryan, is a real good effort here tonight by Frank Chiliano.
Yeah, Chiliano's been very sharp so far, facing 43 shots, allowing 9 goals. On nights, a night after he was pulled against Saskatchewan for Christian Del Bianco, Chiliano's really come out tonight and shown why he was named the Roughnecks starter this season.
Berg really feeling it out there as he is into this game. Has 4 goals and almost got a 5th one moments ago. And now it'll be a Black Wolf penalty as Dixon got into things with the Black Wolf defender, who will go to the box for, I think, holding is the call.
It looks like Crowley was out there on D and finds himself holding the stick of Curtis Dixon.
So it'll send the Roughnecks to the power play. That's about the only thing that hasn't been good tonight for the Roughnecks. They're 1 for 3, but they've also given up a couple shorthanded goals. This after scoring a half dozen power play goals last night against the Rush. Here's Dixon. Dixon closes in to Berg, scores! 5th of the night for Wes Berg. 16-9. The Roughnecks are rolling.
And with 7 minutes and 11 seconds left, you might have chilly feet in the stands the rest of the way as fans get prepared for a possible Westberg sock trick as he gets his 5th of the night. And again, just stepped forward. He was given the room and put it in 5-hole on Jameson. Make it a 7-goal lead for the Roughnecks, who coming off a 3-game losing streak are putting an emphatic end to that here tonight against the New England Black Wolves.
And they win the face-off. Westberg now having himself some kind of night. That's his 5th of the night, as we mentioned. Give him 9 points overall. Thornbert now all the way. Thornbert's in there. Chiliano the save, and Thornbert dances through the crease. Actually did a real good job there of avoiding huge contact with Chiliano. That could have been ugly, but Thornbert, the veteran, somehow managed to dance through it without a big collision there. And then that shot wide. And then picked off nicely by Bell, and Bell's going to try and go off the races again. Tyson Bell all alone down there, so he'll one-hand it to Manning and then takes a spill. Manning will pass off, and now here is Holden Katoni. Katoni now looking to pass off and gives it to Dovey. He'll come to Dixon with now just 8 to shoot. Dixon now, one hand on his stick. Tries to send it to the slot area, but picked off there. And back come the Black Wolves in transition. This is Buchanan one-on-one. Buchanan dances around the defender. Can't take the ball with him, though. And Dan McRae says thank you very much and takes it for himself.
Roughnecks transition defense has been fantastic tonight. Had several opportunities where they've gone down the floor and absolutely stolen the ball right out of it. And another power play coming up for the Roughnecks as well.
Chiliano to the bench, so 6-on-5 here for the Roughnecks as Riley Lowen steps on from the bench. Lowen now to Dixon. Dixon to Doby. Doby back to Dixon. Dixon now. Oh, what a pass and what a goal there by Jeff Shatler as Dixon finds him all alone. And Shatler with his 2nd of the night, make it 18-9. Whoa.
Jeff Shatler getting in on the action. Everybody's putting it home for the Roughnecks tonight. Has a great pass. And again, the ball movement has been missing from this Roughnecks offense at times this season. Certainly hasn't been tonight, as the assists are flying fast and furious, which is leading to the goals. Now 17-9 for the Roughnecks.
This comes with 5.5 minutes to go, and 16th goal of the season for Jeff Shatler. And here come the Roughnecks again as Garrett McIntosh has the ball. McIntosh will pass over to Riley Lowen, and we get a whistle on the play, and I think we're going to get an illegal substitution call against the Roughnecks as Lowen was too quick coming off the bench there, and that'll send the Black Wolves to the power play here.
Yeah, Riley Lowen will sit for, or rather it'll be Garrett McIntosh sitting 2 or less.
I think it was Riley Lowen's fault. To be fair to Garrett.
To be fair to Garrett McIntosh. Again, the in-home player for tonight is Garrett McIntosh.
New England will look to strike quickly here on this power play, although even at 8 goals down, they really have their work cut out for them. There's Crowley scoring, though, as Kevin Crowley beats Frank Chiliano.
And another penalty is upcoming here to the Roughnecks as well. Curtis Manning is going to sit for 2. Looks like he took a little bit too much of a liberty at Sean Evans on a slash, I believe, and he's going to head to the box.
So that'll send...
Yeah, a little bit of confusion here. But it will be Manning heading to the box as the first penalty will come off the board.
And indeed, it will be a 5-on-4 continuation on a fresh penalty now for a full 2 minutes. Burton wins the draw, though. Burton tries to pass off. Bell goes behind the net and out the other side. Now under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Bell swings it all the way back to Curtis Dixon, who has 9 points in this one. Him and Westberg both sitting with 9 points. Now Dixon working shorthanded, drops the ball briefly, gets it back, stumbles, and then throws it back to an open side. Riley Lowen can't handle it cleanly, eventually does recover it as the shot clock expires. That'll be a 30-second violation for the Roughnecks, and our final timeout on the floor. 17-10, Calgary leads by 7. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Hey now, Mia, I turn it over to you for the Unstrung Hero of the Week, presented by String King, a player who may not have chipped in on the score sheet, but contributed to his team's successes in some other ways. So, who have you got?
Well, this is a player that you're actually used to contributing on the score sheet. Not this week, though, but he contributed in other ways for sure. So I'm giving the Unstrung Hero title to Zach Greer, sticking with your Colorado Mammoth theme in this one. And this is why in this game, he had a season-high 5 assists, helping the team to a big win against the Toronto Rock. Now, we are used to Greer getting on the scoreboard, but in this one, he was helping his other teams get to the net and get the goals. And we also see that the Colorado Mammoth are just a stronger team with him back in the lineup. He's a leader both on and off the floor, and that is why he is this week's Unstrung Hero.
The Whitby, Ontario native is a workhorse on the floor. Offense, transition, defense, a leader on and off the floor, in the dressing room. A very big part of this Colorado Mammoth team. And just like Callum Crawford, if they want to make a run in the postseason, he's going to be a very, very, very big part of that. And I'll be excited to see the contributions that this player makes in the postseason.
(17-10) Calgary leading by 7 here over the Black Wolves. Black Wolves on the power play here. And down at the Calgary end going to work. There's a shot wide of the open net by Riley O'Connor. 10 to shoot now on the power play for the Black Wolves. That pass will just go into the New England bench, and that'll give it back to Calgary with 1:02 remaining in the Curtis Manning minor. And Dan McRae will step over center. Pass back to Holden Katoni. Katoni to the net, takes a shot, scores! Holden Katoni short-handed, give the rookie 2 on the night. Calgary 18-10 with an offensive explosion. Second game in a row on home floor that they have put up some gaudy numbers as Holden Katoni gets in on the action. And Calgary up by 8.
Yeah, the rookie getting in there for the 18th goal of the game for the Roughnecks. Again, everything working offensively tonight for Calgary.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about that. And Holden Katoni now has 6 on the season, and playing in front of Tracy Koleski here, who was on the Black Wolves bench. Tracy probably not happy with the score, but him and Holden Katoni have a special relationship, and probably that means a little something extra for Holden for doing well in front of Tracy tonight, on the night that Tracy Koleski's number 17 went up to the rafters as a member of the Forever a Roughneck program, just the second member. And hope you enjoyed that ceremony before the game. And the Roughnecks came out and have really put together one of their best efforts. The last 2 home games for the Roughnecks, they've really looked strong. But sandwiched in between that was a 3-game road losing streak, and as a result, Calgary now in a real dogfight for that final playoff spot in the West. But they'll match Vancouver in the win column here with this win, trailing by half a game based on games played. And barring a complete miracle, the Black Wolves will fall 1 game below 500. There's a behind-the-back attempt, doesn't work. Black Wolves recover it though. Played up high. There's a shot by Buchanan. That's wide off the end wall. Kyle Buchanan recovers it. He's had a good game. 4 goals in this one. Puts another shot on net. Chiliano the save. And a penalty coming up to the Roughnecks. And there's a goal by Buchanan, 5th of the night. So Kyle Buchanan certainly has done his job tonight in a losing effort. And that'll make the score 18-11.
Yeah, nice play there from Buchanan right on top of the crease. Just one move more than Chiliano could track, and Buchanan puts it in for the 11th goal of the game for the New England Black Wolves. As we got a quick look at the replay there, whether or not that goal was clean, and of course, no problem from that overhead look, as New England had used both of their challenges early in the game. No challenges thus far from Kurt Malosky. Can't imagine he'd throw one at this point with just 2.5 minutes to play.
That looked completely clean too. That replay didn't show any even risk of Buchanan stepping in the crease there. Now Evans, no quit in that man, passes off. There's a shot off the bar, rebound to the Black Wolves, and a fresh 30 as a result. 2:08 to go here. O'Connor passes off. There's a shot by Crowley. That hit Chiliano and I think into the netting.
And another penalty coming up here to the Roughnecks, as it's getting a little sloppy here in the late going. Garrett McIntosh is going to the box. This time it is his fault.
Yeah, he has spent some time in there tonight, but most of it not for his own efforts. This one, though, is all him. And as a result, the Black Wolves go back to the power play. That power play has been really good tonight, 4 for 5 officially. And that's about the only good news when it comes to the Black Wolves as they work it around. There's a shot, scores, make it 5 for 6 as Sean Evans gets, I believe, his hat trick goal, as he has had a very typical evening. 3 goals, 7 points for him, and it's 18-12. But yeah, now under 2 minutes to go. Anything can happen in the NLL, but this would be quite something.
If this turns into a New England comeback victory, they'll be playing this tape forever. As not often you're going to score 6 goals in just a minute and 50 seconds.
That's the 30th goal of this contest. So if you like offense, you enjoyed this game, as certainly both teams have scored plenty of goals and some pretty ones too. Buchanan has it now. He passes off to Culp. Culp closes in, takes the shot, scores! Chad Culp. And that's a 5-goal game. If they continue to score every 15 seconds, then this one's going to get tight.
And they would have to with a minute 30 to go, down 5. That would get you 6 goals if you score every 15 seconds. But nevertheless, Chad Culp going 5-hole on Frankie Chiliano, and not sure that the Roughnecks coaching staff are happy about that one. But New England will win the face-off, and they'll keep the offense on the floor.
Reed has it. Reed passes off. Here's Evans now with it. Evans, one-hand pass all the way back to Crowley. Crowley climbs ladder to find it. They're gonna have to do things quick here. They don't really have much time to move things around. Now here's Crowley again, trying to go low, and Chiliano makes the save. And now with a minute 13 to go, that'll give Calgary a chance to kill some clock, which they haven't been able to do in the last couple minutes here. Really, it's been the defense on the floor. Now Dan McRae getting hacked and whacked. Dropped it briefly. Good work there by Derek Suttons, but he can't create the turnover. And now Calgary is probably just going to be happy to do what they can. Now Dixon cutting the net. Big save there by Jamieson, as Dixon got a clean lane there and took it. And Jamieson turns him the side. Now under 50 seconds to go, though. That'll about do it, as the Black Wolves are going to not even bother to pull the goalie with that score. Here's O'Connor. O'Connor to Culp. Takes a shot from well out again. Basically the same spot he scored in. And comes all the way back over center, and that'll be over and back against New England. And that'll give Calgary a chance to wind things down here as the crowd comes to their feet for the second time tonight. The first time was to salute Tracy Koleski. The second time here to salute their team for a very strong effort that gives them some playoff aspirations here as they will move into a tie with the Vancouver Stealth in the win column. The Stealth will have a half-game lead by virtue of games played. And the Calgary Roughnecks win this one 18-13 as they hit the floor to greet Frank Chiliano, who goes the distance and picks up the win, Ryan.
And probably the best news for Roughnecks fans is joining them on the floor is Greg Harnett. He does have a bit of a hitch in his giddy up at the moment, but nonetheless, Harnett is on the floor. So good to see him get the job or get back out there, if only to do the end handshake line. But Greg Harnett on the floor. A very impressive performance here tonight on Tracy Kelusky night. Number 17 sees his former teammates put in just one more than that. And a great night all around the offense. It wasn't one side of the offense getting it done. Dane Doby with a bunch, Jeff Shatler had a pair, and hat-tricks for a couple different players there as well.
Yeah, we'll give you some of the offensive totals on both teams. Sean Evans and Kyle Buchanan leading the way for the Black Wolves. Buchanan 5-2, and Sean Evans goes 3-4. Just another day at the office for him. Seth Oakes, the rookie, goes 1-2 for 3 points. 1-1 for Chad Culp. Kevin Crowley 1-2, and Kevin Buchanan 5 points on the strength of 1 goal, 4 helpers. All sorts of gaudy numbers for the Calgary Roughnecks. 5 goals, 9 points for Westberg. Also 9 points for Curtis Dixon on a 3-6 night. 7 points for Dane Doby, 3-4, and Jeff Shatler 2-5. Tyson Bell gets in on the fun with 1 goal. Dan McRae also adding some offense from the back end, 1-1. And Tyler Digby 1-3. And a 2-goal effort by the rookie, Holden Katoni, as Calgary got offense up and down the lineup. And as a result, hang 18 on the Black Wolves and win this one 18-13. And we'll send you down to the floor here shortly, where Andrew McBride is in conversation with Westberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Westberg. 5 goals, 4 assists, a new career high. West, the offense was moving and shaking, slinging, doing its thing tonight. Talk about how it kind of impacted the game.
Yeah, you know, we were moving the ball out there really well, and we were playing as a unit, and 1 or 2 seconds with the ball, and it's hard to cover us like that. We got a lot of athletes and a lot of guys with good sticks, and last couple of games we've been, you know, we haven't been doing that, and we haven't been getting the goalie moving. It's a lot easier to put the ball.
As an offensive player, when you're feeling it like you were tonight, inside, outside, finding those corners, how does that feel from an offensive perspective?
It feels good. You know, you don't think about it when things are going well. You just go out there and play and have fun. And you know, lately it's not quite been that way. So it's nice to get one, you know, win for the fans, and they get rolling now.
Vancouver losing earlier in the day, big win tonight. Talk about building momentum and carrying it over to the remaining games this season.
Yeah, you know, this is the time to get hot, and we need that momentum going in. As rough as things have been for us lately, we still got a great chance to get in, and like I said, you get hot in the playoffs, anything can happen, and this is the right time to do it.
Westberg, ladies and gentlemen, 5 goals.
Thanks, Andrew Westberg. Huge night for the rookie, or the sophomore rather. 9 points, a career high for him. We'll get you the 3 stars in a moment. Berg getting the water bottle treatment from Curtis Dixon. Bit of an early shower.
Yeah, well, anytime you set a career high, your teammates are going to celebrate, especially as he bettered Curtis Dixon in the goal department tonight by 1. But Westberg having a heck of a weekend, really, as he put it all together. But a great game here tonight as we take a look at the 3 stars.
Kyle Buchanan, the 3rd star for New England. As mentioned, 5 goals for him, as he was the straw that stirs the drink offensively for the Black Wolves. 7-point evening for Kyle Buchanan. 2nd star, Curtis Dixon, 9 points. Not very often that 9 points doesn't get you 1st star honors, but as mentioned, Ryan, as a guy that got 9 points as well as Curtis Dixon, but bettered Superman in the goal department, and that is the man we just heard from, Westberg, who I'm confident will be the 1st star.
Yeah, you know, if 9 points with five goals and 9 total points isn't enough to get you 1st star, I'd be quite a little surprised.
There you go.
There it is. Westberg, your number 1 star, 5 goals, 4 assists, and paced the attack and got the 1st goal of the night, got the Roughnecks on the right foot. and continued that work throughout the evening. What a performance from the super sophomore, Wes Berg.
Couple reminders as we start to wrap up here. The Calgary Roughnecks will be back here at Scotiabank Saddledome in 2 weeks as the Buffalo Bandits will hit town. That game is Saturday, April 8th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at calgaryroughnecks.com. The New England Black Wolves return home next weekend for a little matinee action. The Rock are in town on Sunday, April 2nd. That's a 1 p.m. start time. You want to get your tickets at blackwolves.com. And Ryan, give folks a final reminder where they can get in on the jersey auction from the salute to Tracy Kleski earlier tonight.
Yeah, you can see the jerseys being worn right there. Right now, they are all numbered 17. Kleski on the back with the C on the front. The players' individualized numbers are on the sleeves. You can find them at elevateauctions.com. Get in there and help raise a schwack of money for the Tucker Williams Braver Than Brave Memorial Fund. That is the charity chosen by Tracy Kleski for the proceeds of this auction to go to. Some of the jerseys starting at, all the jerseys starting at just $200, but I know that those bids are rolling in. You'll have about a week to bid on those, so bid early, bid often, bid lots, and let's raise a lot of money for the Tucker Williams Memorial Braver Than Brave Fund. I cannot think of a better cause here to help support the lacrosse family.
Once again, your final score tonight, 18-13. The Calgary Roughnecks pick up a big win over the New England Black Wolves. For Ryan Valentine, my name is Grant Farhall. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.